we are, the final quarterfinal, and so far the quarterfinals in Titans League Season 2 they've been crazy. We had 3 best of 5s. Every single one went to the 5th game, and all the players have brought an insane level. I expect the same thing in this one. We have Hera in the blue playing as the Cumans, and we have Villese in the red playing as the Koreans, Nilly. Crazy to see this pick here.
Yeah, we very rarely see Koreans being played here. That's really surprising to me. And, well, Hera, humans, he loves them. And yeah, so far quarterfinals have absolutely been crazy in delivering. We had a lot of upsets in Platinum League, but it felt like we only have 5 players left, and I wouldn't be surprised if those are the top 5 in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean...
Close.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't catch all that.
I think it's close, right? We don't have Mr. Yo, we have Tato in there. Yeah.
Well, you know, you got to look at the matchups and I guess when it happened. That's always the thing in this format is you are going to be put up against some big names if you're not winning your group, right? And for Hera, we hadn't seen him in a round of 12 because he just won his group. And he actually set this is going to sound stupid because it's only the 2nd season, but he set a record with 14 wins and 1 loss. In the previous season, it was 2 players who went 13-2, and one of those was also Hera. But, you know, for Hera, he did lose in the semifinal last time to the eventual winner, Winchester. So Hera is just the type of name, and with how active he is in the game, he's the type of name you favor to possibly win anything right now. And I really like his Sib. I think that the Cumans are proven. And I think that Villese is trying to go for something funky here. We'll see if it's going to be able to work out. I'm thinking maybe War Wagons, believe it or not.
I'm in the Halberdier plus SO corner. Because Cumans don't have the greatest answer to that, honestly.
Yeah, okay. Well, the thing that I was thinking about the Wagons, though, is it stops the Cuman player from taking map control to drop that castle forward. Which they try to do later on.
Early War Wagons. Ooh, that's interesting.
So, I mean, not too early, but if you know that Hera's going for the 2 TC timing and will go for a fast imp forward castle, you want to have like maybe a monk or 2 and 4 wagons out there, and I think they should take very little damage from a kip check.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And then maybe eventually you get into like bombard cannons to hold. And then, Halb Siege Onager, because you're definitely right. If this was a agreed upon treaty game and they had 40 minutes to boom, the Halb Siege Onager from Koreans with a bunch of stone walls on the sides, and Cumans would have very little chances.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see the army compositions. The forward castle, like, are we really expecting mass war wagons? Is that what we are afraid of, though? And there's no major hill in the center. I think Hera could actually go 2 TC into 4 TC.
Maybe just like a bigger boom than what the Koreans can do. It might not necessarily have the timing. Yeah, I feel like sometimes the forward castle, it's especially strong if it's next to a gold or a stone. And right now you are seeing some stone and some gold on the right and left there for Villese's base. But yeah, Hera, it almost like that spot where he built the TC was made for it. He somehow fit a TC in there. That's a wonderful town center. He'll be farming, obviously, nonstop here, but if he wants to take stone, we'll see it right underneath the TC.
And he should farm more around the mill right now, I believe. Instead of building lots of second row farms around his town centers.
Yeah, he's farming pretty fast here. Like, he only has 5 on wood. So this is his, I mean, he's farming as quick as he can, and he's pulled villagers off of wood for that. And oh my god, the king for Hera? Oh, geez, it was getting attacked, but Hera's scout was there, and maybe Hera had a small heart attack, but his king should be safe.
Yeah, I think so as well. Distance would have been not that long, but yeah, you're always scared. Just remember the Mihai clip that we had last month where he lost his king against Gavi. Still feels bad, man.
The best part about the clip, though, was his facepalm. It was like a true facepalm. It was extremely loud.
Yeah. And he's normally so collected. Right?
Yeah, it was a funny one. What was interesting was that Gabby had killed someone's king. So that was when Mihai ran his king into her castle. And then also lost her king on Regicide Fortress in another game when Repard sniped it with hussars out of a tower.
Oh, okay.
So that was I think the only legitimate king snipe that ended the game. Was that snipe there from Repard. So
interesting.
well, we've talked about the war wagons, but I'm gonna be real with you. I think Koreans are. I think that this is the first time we're seeing them for a reason. The only eco bonus they have is they mine stone a little bit faster. They're incredibly slow and awkward to play. And the Cumans were Hera's very first pick. They're in the top 3, and some people's number 1 civ on this map. And I think for Villese, he looks at this and says, well, you know, I'm probably not going to win this. We're going to try and draft towards the other maps first. Because I think the Koreans were a very late civ pick for him.
Yeah. I think it was number 6 or something, right?
Yeah.
And you picked 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's basically what I call 5.5. So it's like his last pack of civs.
Yeah. So he probably and it can be a decent approach to do that, right? Kind of treat it as a throwaway because Hera picked humans first. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to draft civilization super early for Regicide Fortress and then lose that, and then suddenly you kind of wasted an early pick. So obviously the strategy matters, the execution matters, but there is a reason in my eyes that we haven't seen the Koreans much, and it's just because of how expensive their army is. And Hera sees the king. I think Villese is trying to tempt him into the tower here.
55 HP.
Yeah. That was kind of funny. But good activity from Hera with his scout this game. He's scouted a lot, and he's going to click up to Castle Age soon. He's got 42 villagers. Pretty nice build from him.
Yeah. Absolutely clean here. Nothing else expected. Actually got quite some idle TC time, which is a bit surprising to me. I think even coming out of early Feudal Age or even Dark Age. So that was a slight hiccup, but after that, pretty well played. Now the big question is, from what I have learned, and I've probably played 10, 12 Cuman Regicide Fortress games in the last 3 weeks. Okay. I'm not reseeding farms here. Because you have enough farms anyways to produce out of 2 town centers. And I'd rather send them to wood right now, get heavy plow, and then reseed.
Okay, well, I think your approach is great if you're adding the 3rd and 4th town center. I don't believe Hera's going to do that here. I believe Hera will plan on making a couple kip checks for map control, and then he wants that forward castle.
Okay.
And I believe that's confirmed now because he has 7 on wood only, and he's got 6 on stone.
Okay.
So the timing here is to click up to imp soon after, drop the castle forward. Well, I think you have the castle going up as you're imping. I forget the exact order. Obviously, it can depend on what happens, but he also considered fletching there. He researched it, and then he canceled it for a second.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
He's debating on if he wants to get that now or later.
So it is the fast imp. Castle will be kind of next to the straggler there on the white area. Will potentially kill the TC at the gold as well. And pressure the woodline at the front, so Hera might get quite some control there.
And this is where I was thinking maybe if Hera's adding kip checks, that you have like 1 or 2 war wagons, because the war wagons can deny any forward position. But I'm looking at the resources for Villese, and I also know that war wagons are not a cheap unit. So I feel like, if he does add the wagons, he's just going to be delayed. And Hera's on the way to imp already, and he still has a villager lead. This is what the Cumans can do.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Let's take a look
insane.
At the collected resources. Or no, it will stop my game, right?
It doesn't actually anymore.
Okay.
So I just did it, and it's still running.
Nice.
And yeah, Hera's collected 2,000 more resources.
Sick. That's just so sick. It is also like Koreans, as you said, pretty generic civ, and we'll find a villager kill. Oh.
Hera's been extremely active with that scout. He's just been looking around the front. He's not actually been looking for the relics at all. And I also like that approach, because I just don't think there's a world where the relics pay off in time against this type of a boom.
Okay.
There's the kip checks.
Scout will be fine.
The villagers should be coming. There's also a war wagon. A couple war wagons could ruin Hera's whole strat.
Yeah. Also like 4 spearmen added. 3 war wagons, something like that. But Villese is not doing it. He won't contest that castle.
He's gonna have his second wagon. Here he comes. He sees the castle.
No
like
loom.
I think this comes as a surprise to no one. No loom for Hera? What?
That's a surprise.
Oh, that is a big surprise. He could throw because of the no loom. What?
Instant -2 wilds.
Loom. Isn't he the one who said loom is the most overrated up? What was it? It was very clickbait. Basically talked about how you should delay loom as long as possible, but not that long, Hera. Not that long, bro. This is what I mean about wagons, right? Like they have 5 pierce armor. The Kipchaks do 4 damage. So the Kipchaks are doing 1 damage a hit. Wagons are sick against this.
So what I actually did with this build-up, I played double archer range and just put like 6 skirmishes. And then you always get that castle up.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I kind of see what you're talking about there. So Hera's got Bodkin now, but he has to go monks.
Oh, this is so good for
And the
Villese.
foundation's still there. So now Villese is going to get a big Vill lead. Hera's still an imp, but what does he gain from imp?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so good for Villese.
I love the
30
timing,
C!
dude.
He gives up.
I like the third TC though. I think you almost like you still haven't fully had to give up on this strat, but you're not going to get that castle up at the time that you want. So you might as well just drop the third town center.
Hera tech 2 pause most likely. He's
Yeah,
like,
he
okay,
definitely-
fast imp didn't work. What can I actually do with this?
Yeah, that was 100% why he paused. He wanted to see how good his monk upgrades are, I think. To see if he gets block printing and whatever else. But then again, he could have checked it, I guess. Monk needs to get a conversion here for Hera to feel good about life. And he's going to lose the monk. The whole game plan's ruined. This was Hera's #1 Civ pick. We hadn't seen Koreans in Platinum at all, Nilly. Not once.
That's pretty sick.
This is really sick thinking. Like, if he wins this game, massive. Even if he doesn't win the game, I'm already impressed.
Yeah, if he
But
wins
he doesn't
this
care
one,
about me being impressed.
this is worth more than 1 point if he wins
Yeah,
this
it's like 1.5.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Because then he has just such a big Civ advantage on the other maps.
I also love how he just continues to make them. Because why not, right? You're not seeing a real killer unit from Hera out there to counter this right now.
Oh, the only
Hera does have the monks now. Pops out. Goes for conversions. No sanctity, though. He does get conversions, though. So that's a good start for Hera.
some monks
So
going
could
down.
get another conversion. War wagons are attacking their old buddies here. Hera might feel the confidence to move out and finish the castle. It's just been sitting there. He hasn't deleted it. Good recovery from Hera, considering how horrible this has been.
Would have loved to see Villese building a monastery and pick up the relics behind the scenes, though.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. To be fair, though, in his mind, he's probably like, well, if I stop this, I win, regardless.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, so I could see why when you could lose your war wagons to a conversion or all these different things could happen. I could see why you might not try it. Hera's monks have actually brought him back from the dead here, but Les is expecting the loop around. So he sees the villagers now, and Hera really needs to get that. Villese is going to try and drop a tower here, but I think he would have had to do that before. I'm not sure if this can go up, but let's see. The monks are on the right side. Ballistics is in, by the way.
Yeah, just finished. Could maybe go for it. Goes for some of the monks, but it's a lot of monks. And I think they will find enough conversions.
Oh, and then the Kipchaks could go for the tower, and the villagers are going to complete the castle, and Hera's back. It's such a mess here. If Villese is on the way to Imp, he's got a big villager lead, but he doesn't want to throw away that villager lead. And that's exactly what he's done here. Hera now has 5 wagons. He just now gets Sanctity, which is pretty crazy. And Hera's back in business.
Gets CC number 5 now. But still, this is the scenario where you can get guard tower. Like, you already have that. By the way, the king is really exposed.
Oh, yeah, he's going to run with that thing.
And then he can go for with trap and bombard cannon. And that's a tricky spot to fight for Hera.
Yeah, agreed. And I also think War Wagon is still a really good unit. There's no reason why you should really stop making War Wagons, in my opinion. You're going to have the economy to kill monks with other things later. So 109 villagers. We are going to see some relics brought in now, I assume, for Villese, because he's got a monastery. And Hera is just now making his trebs. So he didn't actually make trebs right away. It was just soon after he got that second castle up. And he's farming in the middle? Why are you farming in the middle right now, Hera?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about that as well. I think this should be fully focused on stone. Maybe he felt he had too many villagers there. That they would have blocked.
On stone?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
TC6.
Well, defensive castle for Villese. I think we know what his game plan was. He's getting conscription. He's getting chemistry. So he will definitely go for the bombard cannons. Hera, and this is something we have attributed to him for years now, is he does a great job with his economy. So while his push may not be enough, he's going to make sure that he can recover in another way later on. Because he might surpass Villese and Vils and farm count and everything at this rate with 5 TCs.
Thinking about long-term options here, if this is becoming stalematy, how good are the trash options? Humans, they don't get Bracer. They at least get Halberdiers. Villese gets everything except Bloodlines and the last attack and armor for his Hussars. So Hussars are weak, rest is solid.
Yep. And castle goes down. Hera's aggression paying off. Hera starting to drop stables. The Hussars spam so quickly with the humans after the unique techs. Hera's monks getting conversions. I don't know why we just don't see an engagement there against the monks, honestly. Villese seems very tentative right now. You're just giving Hera more time to mass more. I feel like you just need to put a stop to it, but he disagrees. He's going to wait for the bombard cannons right now.
Okay, makes lots of sense. Just guarantees no losses, right? If you go for bombard cannons.
That's true. Kipchek's running in. TC fire. They do have bloodlines now. Whoa. No, they don't yet, actually. They're paper.
Oh, yeah.
But it was all about map control, wasn't it?
War wagons. Oh, they're so tough to micro. Ay.
And there, Villese takes the engagement. Now he's trying to kill the monks. He will kill the monks. He will kill all of his friends that have changed sides here. And he will probably push Hera in the middle. And Villese is expecting Hera to eventually go for stable units. And Hera is getting those techs in now. And Hera's taken out a lot of Villese's economy, but he still doesn't have the upgrades in. And there's a massive ball of units here from Villese to push this castle down.
Ooh, we're going into the Cavalier direction here for Hera. Obviously has a solid economy here with 50 farmers, 30 on gold. Maybe an overboom out of him here, I would even say. Villese needs to attack into halves, and he's doing exactly that.
Yeah, Villese had pikemen before, so he's able to do this pretty easily, and I think Hera's going to lose all of his trebs here if he's not careful. He's going to roll away. The war wagons have nothing to be afraid of, and the other thing is, I know they're cheap, but he made all the stables right behind his castle.
Ooh.
So Hera's going to lose the stables, too.
And also showing them, right? Do we see? Oh, yeah, we see one stable.
Yep. He sees 2 stables now, and Hera's villagers repairing the castle. Monks looking for conversions. Hera's getting good value of the monks, I will say.
Yeah.
Got way more conversions than I expected here.
War wagons don't really have the greatest range, right? 7 range only, so the monks can always start from long distance. Yeah, but war wagons, I think they should have not dove that. Just stay back and let the bombard cannons do the job.
As we see, tower foundation for Villese, more cannons, halbs coming in. He's got full armor on the halbs already. Hera's going to click Paladin. He clicked it in one of those stables. I think it's likely that the Paladin upgrade could be denied.
Takes quite some time.
He's got to wait. He's going to need something. I guess Paladin's the way here. Paladin or bust for Hera. He knows he doesn't have skirms. I can't say I really hate it.
I think you don't build a single war wagon from here. Just go full halberdiers. You know that war wagons won't give you anything right here if you're Villese.
I mean, I guess it depends on if you can do both. If you can do both, more is better.
but you see like 9 stables of your opponent. You know that they're playing for mass paladins now.
That's true.
Right?
That's
and
true.
The difference between 20 and 25 war wagons is non-existent in this scenario.
I think he realizes his paladin stable is exposed, and he wants to delay so that paladin upgrade completes.
Maybe.
I think he realizes that he chose that stable, and it's an incorrect play here. Villese won't have any indicators, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you mean. Like, more halbs would be really helpful here.
More barracks as well at the front.
Choose. He is building up the barracks. He is also re-walling, and he's towered some crucial areas too, which is nice. But he seems very scared.
He should wall the whole map.
Yeah, true. Stone wall on the right side too. I'm not a fan of the one lumber camp he's just placed because he could just chop a hole into his own wall, but I guess he doesn't have a lot of wood access. He's killing villagers from Hera. Hera will complete Paladin. It'll be 30 halbs and 25 wagons, not elite wagons. Hera's got a massive economy, and he's placed castles all throughout his base. Hera's really going to make Villese work for this one.
Ooh, Paladin upgrade now confirmed. I think we need more towers. I think we need way more walls here. Villese is going for fortified walls. Love that. Oh, big engagement coming.
Hera has the speed to not give him the engagement, but Villese has the mass to push and force Hera to react. The walls are coming up on the sides for the Finn, who, if he wins this, will have one of the master classes so far this tourney in terms of expecting what your opponent's going to do and baiting him into it. This is so good from him. Elite War Wagon now. Elite War Wagons are really hard to kill, even with Paladins. 200 HP, lots of range, especially in a choke point. It's really hard for the Paladins to engage here, isn't it, Nilly?
Yeah, I think so as well. I would even love to see like 3-4 more towers. Maybe even like 2 bomber towers. Why not? Oh, monastery.
Yeah. Monastery goes down. Hera doesn't have that gold income. Hera will use his trebs there against the bomber cannons. He didn't get it. He got a tree, which makes the pathing less awkward. Villese, he's right now, he's happy with where he's at. He's using his time to try and wall up the map. At least you would hope so. But he definitely wants to push this. That treb from Hera is so well positioned. The fact that these trebs are actually holding the bomber cannons back, or at least they were, is interesting. One of the trebs goes down, and Hera's prepping for skirms here, Nilly, but skirms with cumins, I'm just not sure that's the answer for him.
It doesn't feel like it. I would love to see like 2 bomber towers there and maybe add 2 traps, and then it's pretty much unbreakable for Hera.
Yep.
He's just dancing for so long already.
Oh, and the big fight. I think this should be better for Villese, but it's a fight that Hera has to take. He's got a lot of paladins here. He loses his castle. How strong is Paladin? Strong.
It's really strong.
Very, very, very strong. Hera's not dead yet. He's still at 200 pop. He's got more paladins in queue. He has tons of food and even tons of gold here, Nilly. Hera's going to try and use those skirms against the war wagons, but the war wagons are getting some value. They have 25 kills, and that's 25 paladins they've killed. And Hera's now down to 25 paladins, so it's so expensive. I'd love to see Hera try and find the king with those paladins on the side if he really feels like he's going to lose this.
I think now after this engagement went reasonably well for him, maybe he has an idea that full paladin and skirm can actually do the job here. Yeah,
true. Look at Villese trying to take Hera's gold underneath the TC. That's a little preemptive. I'm just amazed at how well both these players have played with the strategy, but also the adaptations to their opponent here.
Yeah.
Like so many players wouldn't have been able to keep their wagon mass alive there. So many players wouldn't have prepped the halb as quickly as they did, even against Hera. And Villese just holds on here. A big issue for him, and maybe it was intentional, he only has 108 villagers, which seems low to me.
I think that's fine with Koreans, right? You're kind of blocking
Maybe.
20 of your own pop because those war wagons should always be in the back. And you should never lose them, but actually he's losing some.
Yeah, well, he will take the gold now. Hera, still 26 paladin. Should we be surprised that Hera with all that food isn't trying Hussar? Or is that just not a good unit here?
It is a good unit long game. Right now he simply needs to free himself and needs to address that war wagon count. And therefore I think he needed paladin to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hussar will be going for the tower here. Is going to lose that treb maybe. He does. That hurts. And yeah, Hussar is a very Hera thing to do.
Those elite scums are really bad, man. No last attack, no extra range. War wagons will be fine against them. Even halberdiers can close down the distance.
And wagons and halbs, while it may have been pushed back slightly up against Paladin, wagons and halbs destroys Hussar Skirm. Like I know the only thing I could say about that though is that if he has his unique tech, Step Husbandry, the Hussars will produce much faster. And Hera can do some amazing things with that, but not if Fortified Wall is in and all these choke points are walled by Villese. And that's precisely what Villese has done.
Pretty crazy. Some overchop potential though, and still If he wants to expand a bit further, those hussars can do something. But yeah, right
yep.
now, lots of paladins are dying to the harps.
Yeah, Hera did kill a couple cannons there, so that's why he dove in there. But he only killed 2 of the 4. We might even see Yipsiong. We might even see the tower upgrades come in here for Villese.
Long overdue, if you ask me.
Yeah. Hera's at 190 pop. Again, it's the production speed, and the production speed's insane. Villese still only has 100 vills. He needs more villagers, Nilly. And he needs to stop chopping the trees in the front here.
Agreed.
This is crazy. He's now going for light cav. With Koreans, it's never an exciting thing to see from a player. And Hera is somehow holding on underneath all of these towers. And I think Hera's just happy his eco hasn't been hit yet. Some portion of it has been, of course. But Hera's got a very healthy economy. Just look through the difference of the economies is massive here.
The farm count, 62 there. Absolutely Hera-esque.
Yeah, Villese has 22 villagers in queue, though. So, again, he is over chopping. I don't know if, like, maybe he's just had a bad map for backwood or something. I don't know. It's, like, not a talking point here. But Hera's just sitting underneath the towers. He doesn't really even seem to care. And, again, he's going to snipe more bomber cannons. These towers have not accomplished anything for Villese.
Don't you think that maybe a trap might have been a better option than those bombard cannons? He's losing quite a lot of those. Holy moly.
This actually reminds me of the Bengali game. Where the wagons, or I guess the elephants, are very strong, but they're just so expensive.
Yeah.
The difference, though, is that Hera has 3 relics, so that benefits him. Hera has crazy production speed on his stables, so that benefits him. I guess Villese does have towers here, and there's Yipsiong, so the towers get more value, but I mean, he's just going to have 1 tower in this area. And still, like, Villese's population hasn't been over 150 somehow. He was under no pressure at home. I feel like he really screwed up his economy.
Yeah, maybe 10 more builds could have indeed helped. Oh, bombard cannons at least getting some value in the back now. And also, I think bombard towers would have been better than those guard towers.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, man. Villese, the strategy was just so good, but Hera refuses to die here. At what point does Hera feel comfortable enough to raid? Because I feel like the second he starts to find some gaps in these wood lines, it gets even worse for Villese here. I could see Villese losing this game.
Well, I think we are far away from Villese losing, right? He has such a good front position still. He has the towers. Those war wagons will hold quite some time. And right now, it's mainly skirms for Hera, so he doesn't really have the shot to push.
Well, I mean, no bracer. Skirms have seemingly done enough thus far, right? Maybe Onager instead of bombard cannon could have been an option. All the siege has been picked off by those hussars. I would like to see Hera right now. Like, you start to outpost the sides. Look in the north. That is so vulnerable to raids. That could end the game if 20 hussars head in there.
Oh, yeah.
And you're already... Villese is not really even pushing you in an area that you've needed right now. I mean, I guess the gold is there. But it'd be a very Hera thing to do to just send the hussars elsewhere. This is crazy. Villese must be sending new vills to that gold, by the way. All of his new vills are being sent to that gold.
Okay. Well, hussars are now coming in. Should be spotted, technically. Not sure if he can react in time, though.
Yeah, and will he see that there's an overchop? And will he be happy that he's going to lose 20 villagers there? Oh, boy. Oh, man. Now, you're going to be under more pressure if you're Villese to push. He's getting Onager now. I'm so excited to see that. But Hera is in, which should cause some type of distractions on the front here.
And now we're playing Hera's game.
Yep. So exposed in that area. He did re-wall it, but so many villagers die. That said, Hera's getting pushed back. Are you kidding? Hera's going to lose this trap. There's a couple onagers there too, and now Hera's going to need some more support in this area.
Human skirms, simply not that great of a unit. Oh, man.
Okay, Villese clears it up. He doesn't clear it all up. There's 2 hussars that got through, so we'll have to fix that. He's still kind of running out of locations to get wood, though. Hera's kind of running out of wood as well. If he were to lose the southern corner, he would actually lose most of his wood income. Holy cow, man.
It's way more farmers as well. Already at 65. Still feels like it's not enough. Hussar raid at the top finally cleared up, but yeah, Villese, lots and losses. Oh, but now the onagers are arriving.
Yeah, onagers are pretty sick, and the skirms are melting now, and Hera doesn't have redemption for monks. Oh, and Hera didn't exactly avoid this either. Oh my goodness, he's down to 160 population. He's lost most of his army here.
We'll drop even further. This would be the moment where Villese, if he had like 10 Hussars, could raid himself. But he doesn't have the setup.
Yeah. And I think there are you're in a good enough position here where you don't even try and get to the setup. You just that worked so well. You just try and push deeper and deeper into this economy. It's just Koreans are so slow. It just takes so long, man. Holy cow. Like, if they had siege ram, then you could be mixing that in. But capped ram is never really something that people tend to go for. I do like the onager shots, obviously. They've changed this game. He's at 122 villagers now. Remember, he was at 100 before, and we questioned it. He's taking the gold at home. He's also taking the gold forward here. And while it is slow, he is slowly crawling forward. Even going to take the monastery here. And I would, if I could, I would tower near that. So no new monks could get those relics.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. What do you think about Villese going bombard cannons? Is like bombard cannon better than anything? Like, I think traps and onagers are doing a better job.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, he's lost a lot of them. I've played as Koreans before. You know, I've been in this spot where in a 1v1 where you just feel like you can't move, and it's extremely frustrating. I think as long as he always has an onager there, I'm happy with it. So I wouldn't mind that too much.
I think
but Hera's going to make some stables in the north there. So he's thinking about raiding, and he's also going to make stables on the right.
We have enough resources for a siege onager. Oh, but deciding to go the Hussar direction.
I'm wondering how much you're actually going to be able to accomplish with Hussar raids with such bad Hussars. Because Hera's got castles in the corners. And that's a concern for Villese. He doesn't have castles in the corners if Hera tries to raid. I'll say this, Nilly. While I agree that maybe the bomber cannons haven't been effective, he needs to have more than just 1 or 2 units or 1 or 2 siege weapons that can take out buildings.
Okay.
He's only had like 1 or 2 cannons at all times, and he hasn't been taking out the buildings. And that seems what Hera's doing. Is like, as long as I can just hold my position, it doesn't even matter if I lose all my skirms. If I can just take out your bomber cannons and your onagers, I can eventually turn this into my type of game and raid the sides.
Feels good. Like it, right? He's just so constantly committing only against the siege. Look at that villagers trying to go for the repairs. Skirms now might even find the kill against the bombard cannon. No, they won't.
God, it's like such a frustrating. It's actually a very frustrating game to watch because like Villese, he can't push, and then Hera can't stop. Like, he's kind of holding the push, and Hera can't raid yet. But I truly mean it when I say that longer this game goes, the more I prefer Hera, because he can raid the sides. But as I say that, Villese spots the buildings on the side. He will at least deny that on the right for the time being.
Oh, but over chop, so we now see... Oh, villager. Ooh, walled that off at the right side. So Hussar won't come in, at least not the first try.
You stop making wagons? Like, are wagons too expensive? You have no gold now.
I don't think wagons are cutting the chase anymore.
I mean, on the bright side, I think you might even want to make your own skirms. Like, on the bright side, at least you have Hussar in and Halbin, so if you run out of gold, you'll be in a better position there. What a ridiculous game. This is such an awkward game, man. This is so Koreans for you. Awkward to push with, incredibly slow.
3 onagers. Hera again trying to find an opening in some way. I like the amount of Hussars we have now for Villese. Can maybe find some raiding spots.
It is interesting, though. I feel like, considering the skirms don't have Bracer, big attack round there from Villese, that's massive. I feel like the skirms will actually die much faster in this scenario, considering they don't have Bracer. Any other Civ skirmishers might do a better job, right?
Yeah. That's why we still see more war wagons, right? If we played against a Bracer Civ, probably would have stopped that production.
Yeah. And so now you have the raid potential. And by the way, Hera's relics, this time around, a bit further back. Good job from him to continue to reclaim those. But now, Hera, he's not threatening massively. There was an overchop in the north. So that's something, and He's now going to treb through... Sorry, it was overchop on the right. Now he's going to chop through the north. But he's losing ground. Slowly but surely. And his main eco, Nilly. Holy cow, what a game. And again, how sick would it be if Villese wins this against Hera's very first Civilization pick? It would be so important for him in this series.
And what a meat grind of a game as well, right? Like, emotionally, you have to be, like, completely devastated. Losing a 1 hour plus game.
Yep. That's true. We have Elite Kip Check for Hera.
Oh.
I'm not sure about that.
Doesn't cost gold to upgrade, so...
Oh, that's true. Makes sense then, yeah. So he'll have a few of them out here shortly. I like how Hera's trying to raid again, but Villese has done a great job of putting a stop to it. It's like he notices soon after every raid attempt begins. He will have to notice there's an overchop there in the wall. But look how deep he's getting now with his war wagons and his hussars and his halbs. Hera will start to lose lots of space, lots of buildings, lots of farmers possibly.
I wouldn't mind to see Villese buying some stone. He got guilds very early on. Just like 3-4 more towers. Like, how is Hera ever killing them?
His attack rounds have been really good with his onagers. Because Hera's committing everything he can to snipe them. But again, Hera's production speed. It's just like the Korean units are stronger, but they're slower. And then Hera's got the crazy production from his stables to recover every single time. What a ridiculous game. Honestly, wood is such a big talking point, though. Look where Villese is getting wood. He's getting wood in the middle of the map. I don't think Hera has any real clue. Like, right now, I think he's spotting some of those lumberjacks. So he might start to realize. But it's all the lumberjacks, it feels like. Because the right side is not an area that Villese wants to chop heavily right now. Because he doesn't want to allow Hera in.
Yeah, maybe just more control. Maybe some other rewards right-hand side could be something.
Ooh, I'm not a fan of this from Hera. He's left his trebs exposed. There are bombard cannons and hussars around. I think you need to save those. I'm not sure if it's worth it to try and treb in that area, but he's clearly looking at the hussars in the middle, as is Villese, who continues to lose the siege here. But he also continues to kill all the hussars.
Yeah. But Hera, he has 90 farmers, right? And 60 more hussars in the queue. This is like, he has played this game quite often. Oh, exactly like this.
The trebs is a big mistake. You cannot lose those trebuchets just for a couple barracks.
Yeah, agreed.
With 3 relics, it's going to take you a while to build that up, even though that is more than what your opponent has. Villese will also find some lumberjacks in the back, so he's starting to get some raids. Remember, every time Hera loses pop, he's going to just fill that immediately with 90 farmers and with those stables. So Hera's just got to somehow find the right spots, and he's trying his best here. This is as you said, Nilly, a meat grinder of a game. That's a perfect way to describe it. This game is ridiculous. But I genuinely think Villese, like, his lumberjacks are just so exposed. Hera's lumberjacks are just able to hide away behind some castles in some different spots of the map, which should lead him to being safer. I think the lumberjacks will end up deciding this game as long as the players realize it.
Well, let's see. Army count is not looking too crazy for Hera right now. Like, Kipcheck numbers are becoming interesting here, but once Halberdiers close the distance...
Yeah.
I think they 2-hit a Kipcheck here. Holy moly, I didn't even know.
Yeah. Elite Kipcheck, as you said, maybe a unit he just got because he wanted a little bit of something else. Hera, not sure what else to spend his gold on, but I would not spend gold on Kipchecks at this stage. Kipcheck is a timing unit. I don't think it's a great late game unit, as Hera loses his final 2 trebs.
I think C-Trem is what I would have invested my gold into. Simply to make the game more messy, trying to open more areas, trying to allow myself to get into more raids.
This group of 11 war wagons has 83 kills, by the way.
Sickos.
It's pretty wild. A couple units died in that group, so that number dipped down, but Hera's just unable to raid because of the constant pressure through the middle. Okay, he sees lumberjacks now. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, like, that's how you start to whittle down Villese here. Villese's not killing you fast enough. That is such an important area. And now look at, Villese has to respect that so heavily that he has to back up from his initial push.
You sent some Halberdiers at the top. Yeah, sends the war wagon for protection as well.
Well, actually, at the same time, maybe Villese thinks, well, why am I pressuring the ranges when I can pressure the stables? So maybe he's going to protect his villagers, but he actually could start to whittle down the stables. That might not actually hurt him too much. You also send villagers. Look at this lumber camp where the villagers are dying now next to Hera's hussars. He's sending villagers forward to chop the trees. Like, he knows it's going to be a wood game, and he wants to take the vulnerable wood first.
Yeah.
Right side, by the way. Lumberjacks exposed. Hera found it with 2 units. That could be 20 dead vills.
We have seen some units being sent there earlier, but they were cleared up. Now another fight in the center. Just halberdiers. Just finding so many kills here of Villese once he can close down the distance.
How many times have we seen late game castle numbers and castle positions and wood lines become important? Still just 1 castle for Villese. He's up to 70-some farmers, though. It's just, how has he done that? He'll be on Hussar, and Hill will be on Halb. Hussars for Koreans, quite poor. And then Hera will be on Hussar, and he'll be on Skirm, and the human skirmishers are seen as quite poor.
Why aren't we adding halberdiers here as the human player?
Because we spend all our gold on kip checks.
Okay. But,
I agree with you, though. I agree that and then any gold that you do spend is on Siege Ram is a really good idea.
Technically, even our halberdiers as a human player are better than the halberdiers of the Korean.
Yeah.
We're better against hussars and war wagons. So, like, actually, like, full halberdier could be the option for humans here.
Nilly, I've had this feeling, and I don't know if you've been able to sense it, despite the populations and everything. I just have this feeling that Hera will win this game. It will just take another 30 minutes.
Let's take a look at wood lines for Hera.
I could be wrong.
2 there at the top.
But it's just the wood underneath castles, honestly, and how exposed Villese's wood line is. Like, I think Hera has more potential to raid the wood lines as well with his civilization. So I'm just kind of waiting for him to do more of it. And I feel like the second he starts to finally do that, he could do it. But, and again, I mean, Villese, every time I think it's going to go south for him, he's still in this game. Hera with the micro there with the skirms. Oh, man.
Dodging the onager shots. Can we get another shot out of the onager? Doesn't look like it. How many hussars is he investing to snipe those onagers? But obviously, they're such a big threat.
Yep. One look at Hera's vision again here. Yeah, you can see there's so much. Like, if anything, you could actually use the kip checks to raid the wood line instead of fighting the main fight.
Maybe. By the way,
just head over there.
Still missing the last 2 eco upgrades. Could have really helped out by now.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I feel like both would be very helpful in this style of game. I mean, Hera's lost a couple stables. So, I mean, he doesn't have as much production, but he's still got plenty out there. He's killed double the amount of villagers in this game. And it's just a wasteland as I look at the back of Villese's base. He just doesn't have wood. Hera's got to abuse that fact.
He keeps one in the back at the right side. Goes for the wood lines at the right, a bit further to the front. Would have loved to see some more raids at the left, though. And Hera's not having that much wood, honestly. How much wood does he have left?
I think
47?
he's got enough. He's got the mount in the north next to castles. And then in the south, he's got a decent amount, too.
I think he has like 8, let's say 10k that he can get right now.
It's crazy. It's such a confusing game in so many ways, you know? And for these two, it's the first time they both encountered it, I'm sure. Well, I know for a fact, right? We just have not seen Koreans played at all in Platinum League. It's just skirms now, and it's Halb, so no more Hussar production for Villese. So he's producing units that both cost some wood. And Hera's just producing one type of unit that costs wood. Obviously, though, you do need the wood to seed the farms if you're going for Hussars, too.
Isn't it unfair that a Scandinavia game where one player loses to Wilson Dark Age counts at 1 point? And a 75-minute bloodbath is also only counting as 1 point?
That's Age of Empires 2 for you. I remember living in my parents' house. It's like, son, you need to go take out the trash. And it'd be like, all right, Dad, can I play one more game? And, sure, son. And then my dad would show up an hour later. And he'd be like, "What? why are you playing multiple games? And I'm like, I swear, it's this thing called Black Forest, Dad.
Yeah.
It's the same game.
I remember one day my father actually unplugged my PC. After I told
I had
him
that happen to me as
game.
well. I had that happen to me as well, yeah. Ashamed to admit it, but yeah, I had it happen.
Yeah.
But, finally, Hera wants to win the game. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, you didn't play to win before.
Yeah, okay, I didn't mean that to come off that way, but it's been so visible to him, and he takes advantage. This is going to add up. Look at the amount on wood for Villese, and then look at his Q compared to Hera's Q. Hera's got more units in Q, and Hera's got more units collecting wood at the moment.
Technically, now Hera should go for halberdiers, because now after 25 villagers died on wood, the only unit Villese can go for is hussars.
Yeah. I'm with you. But the Kipchaks have done decently well. The group of Kipchaks he has, they've killed 100-some units. So that's good. So he's used them efficiently. Now, what gets wild is Villese has just lost 20 pop on villagers. So now his army count spikes. But the theory is that he won't be able to maintain 90 army mass after he loses this battle. But like, I just haven't seen many moments in this game where Villese has ever been able to raid Hera, and that's the concern. And it's such a frustrating feeling for him. He's making progress against Hera's army. Now, Hera's still with more hussars in queue, more skirms in queue. I'm keeping an eye on the trees. Hera's still got some trees in the south. He's buying wood.
Uh-oh.
He actually just purchased wood, so thinking about this right now.
That's sick.
That right nugget, by the way, for Villese, he's all over it now. Before he kind of saved it.
I think he should have gone for the other one before.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a solid.
Yeah, the other nugget too. Actually, I forgot about those nuggets, to be honest with you. Yeah, imagine losing this game, dude. I mean, losing this game would just hurt so much if you're either player.
Told myself I was going to go shower when this game ends 40 minutes ago. Mistakes were made.
I mean, you could go shower now, and I'm sure the game will still be going on when you get back. I could just count trees if you'd like. So many hussars for Hera. Still surprised he hasn't been a little bit more assertive with rams. But maybe...
Sorry, go.
Maybe
tech
he
tree
doesn't
pause.
feel like he should. Yeah, maybe another tech tree pause.
Oh, skirms are really exposed right now for Villese. Tries to find some more snipes. Halberdiers are going in. Reasonably big engagement. Both players will lose quite a bit of their army there.
Wow, Villese's micro is really good there. He's used the skirms versus the Kipchaks that entire time. That is not easy to do. And I guess you could argue it's worth it, right? If you're killing gold units and just losing skirms.
Yeah.
That's really well done.
And wood intense
Hera
units.
will kill the skirms, though.
Thing is, though, if we're out of wood, the player with a better hussar most of the time wins.
Yep. Exactly. And still, there's just... I have not seen an opportunity for Villese to ever kill a Hera villager. And Hera could see tons of villagers on the right side if you were to just head over there. So it's like, I think Villese actually might have better wood control, but he can't ever push Hera. Hera has the potential to kill Villese before wood becomes an issue for him. That's the way I feel. Like,
Big hussar raid.
Hera has to win this, big raid. Take advantage. Here he goes.
Is there a hole somewhere? Villagers should see it. Like, he is reacting, right? So, they should never find villagers.
Yeah, he could see it the whole way through. He might wait till the last second. Okay. Should place the stone walls. I like that.
Casual 83-minute town patrol.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's
That's
going for the
interesting.
raids into the farms a bit in the center.
Yeah. The Hera's all of his crucial farming ecos just seems to be behind a TCR castle, though. Like the left side in particular, there's just castles everywhere and farms between them. And so Hera loses his hussars. Oh my god, he's going to lose 60 pop, but he's cumin, so he's going to be back up to 200 population again. Because the crazy production speed. Is this going to be like... Is this going to be like that game between Rubenstock and Andre?
It is 1 year and 1 day ago. So,
that
nice
happened.
anniversary.
Where they just run out of wood, but neither player can win? All right, well, Hussar's finding engagements on skirms. Hera gonna jump on top with the population. Excuse me. Hera
Crop
had tried
rotation.
crop rotation. Hera.
He is playing for the long run.
Oh, I mean, honestly, if had he researched that a long time ago, he'd have so much more wood.
Yeah, agreed.
That would have saved so much for him.
Yeah.
But it's better now than never, I guess.
He's out of wood at the top. How much wood does he have
Yeah.
at the bottom? Hera's
Maybe he
down
does.
to 1200 wood. He's long distance chopping now.
The thing is, though, that raid a moment ago with the 60 Hussars, if he just went to the simpler option, which was right here in the middle, where he's now placing a lumber camp, he would have killed Vils. He didn't find any villager kills with that raid. He just didn't go to the right spot.
Oh, big engagement in the center. Hussars might be winning, but that can't be cost efficient.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's a fight that Villese would love to see. Oh my goodness! Oh, jeez. Hera may be feeling the pressure now due to the lack of wood.
Selling food. He's building 3 traps. Hera wants to end this game.
He's going to try and end the game fast, Nilly, and that's not a good sign based on what we've seen. It's not going to work easily. Getting desperate with the Hussars now, thinking about raiding, now thinking about taking another fight where there's a lot of Halbs. We see Hussars for the first time for Villese in a long time. So he maybe felt like that he has an opportunity to push the middle entirely. But still, Hera holds. This is the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. The unstoppable force, of course, being the humans with their Hussars. And then the immovable object, obviously, the Koreans. Just to clear that up.
Mass amount of Hussars still in the queue. Skirmishers unprotected right now. Only 20 halberdiers on the field. How is our barracks count? Okay, 10 barracks we can produce.
So Hera's trebbing the north tower, and Villese just repaired that. And then he also has trebbed the south tower, and Villese is trying to repair that. So Villese is probably going to just try and snipe those trebs right now. And here he goes with Hussars. Korean Hussars underneath the castle. Not very strong. Hera saves the treb. A beautiful save.
And raiding at the right side. Hera's doing all the right moves. Villese drops down to pop 170, but Q is long enough. He will be pop limit again.
Yeah, Q is definitely long enough. But killing the villagers on the right's huge. And then, honestly, even the treb in the north, I don't even think you need that. Just like Hussars on those houses, just constant raids. But once you take out the tower, you could stay there for a long time.
I think he wanted to sit behind the woodline with like 2 kip checks, which he can do now.
I think Villese should be sending villagers to the right wood nugget soon. And oh boy, there he goes.
Lumber camp.
Yeah, he's got to defend this right side.
Has a hill.
Hussars here from Villese in the north here, nearly. He's trying to kill the treb again. He's closer to getting this one. The villagers are going to repair, but they're kind of out of position. No, he will defend it again. What a save. I think he will. I think he will. He won't. The other treb's in jeopardy as well. Some skirmishers and halbs here from Villese. I'm sure all of his new army is going to go here. By the way, guys, we do have kings, so in theory, kings could be sniped. But considering these guys are struggling to take out towers, I don't think the castles that the kings are in are going to be taken out anytime soon.
It is Friday, so actually it could make some sense.
Yeah, good. Yeah, give the community game people what they want. Dude, he's bought stone to keep that tower up. That tower is so important to him, and he's just chopping away. Chopping away. Hera has to keep this treb alive. Hera's army count isn't great there. He is chopping the wood in the north, and the wagons opened the gate. So now Hera's going to be able to kill all those villagers.
Quick, what? Oh, won't happen. Hussars are in.
The king is in the TC there, too, by the way. So, like, if you accidentally press the ungarrison on villagers instead of go back to work hotkey, you could end up losing your king there. But good job from Villese. He ends up taking out the treb, so he could still take wood on the right. So it's not completely horrible. And then he knows that Hera is in the north, so he can go deal with that in theory. Hera's got 20 on wood. We really should pay attention to the wood banked, but also the farm count for Hera, because there's going to be a point here where auto farm it doesn't have the wood to be able to reseed for him.
Oh boy.
Holy cow.
90 farmers. Obviously wood. Well, that's eating quite some wood.
Yeah. Holy crap, man. This is crazy. More villagers for Hera. He's producing more all the time, as is Villese now, as he backs away with those skirms. The towers have actually been more helpful than maybe I expected. They've got about 30 kills between the two of the towers that are on that side. That's helpful. And there's another tower in the north, too, going up there for him.
Again, how about
just keep Hera off the wood.
Being thrown in there. Not the full army, though, by Villese. As you can see, he has like 67 military, but not all of that being used here.
Yeah, it seems like it's coming in now, because he had grouped some in the north earlier. And Villese stabilized, and I didn't believe it earlier when Hera was when we thought maybe Hera could run out of trees, but he's buying wood. He's got a couple trees that I can see that's safe, but for the most part, he is out soon. And Villese still has that giant chunk. Hera, raid it! Raid it with hussars. It's so exposed.
Oh, he takes the massive fight in the center. Oh, that's costly. Is this the time to add a trap? Villese can't afford one.
Oh my god, that's the most expensive treb in existence, man. Oh, jeez. They should be charging greater prices, actually, because of how rare it is to be able to get one. That's how the market works, right?
Or maybe make the trap stronger.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's got to be more worth it somehow. Again, I'm just surprised, right? Like he's fighting straight up over 0 trees now, and there's a wood line on the right, and he has not tried to raid it. I think he's just super tunnel visioned, and he just thinks farms and hussars, farms and hussars. What am I going to do? I'm going to seed some farms. I'm going to make some hussars. But eventually he might not be able to do it, Nilly.
100 farms. 101 farms.
Yeah, he's seeding more farms to make more hussars to send them into halbs. And that wood line on the right is just being chopped away.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. That's the final real area of wood on this map.
2 relics against 3.
Yeah. Well, we should say that Hera isn't producing any skirms anymore, so he's not spending wood. So all the wood income he does get, that wood is going to be just reseeding those farms. So Hera should have hussars for a long while. Also, there's still regicide. And the king from Villese is in a TC and not a castle. Okay. And Hera's going to run in that area in the north right now.
Okay. Mainly aiming for the wood line, though. Yeah, he's not trying to go through.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying to take out that tower as well. So it feels like a wasted... I was going to say wasted opportunity due to the pop, but you could also call it a wasted popportunity, Nilly. I'm a little ashamed of that one, but... I feel like because of how much work Villese has had to do, and like the ingenious of the strategy, and everything, I feel like if life is fair, I feel like Villese wins this game. That's the way I feel. He's collected more wood. Yes, if life is fair, Villese wins this game. Hera, if he was killing the wood line on the right side, you could tell this is tilting me. I'd say differently. But he just hasn't raided that wood line. He's just forgotten about it, sadly. 2 trebs, Nilly. 2 trebs protected by skirms and halbs for Villese.
It's a lot of unprotected farms then.
Yep.
Oh, hussars are diving.
Hussars are diving. They're trying to get position. The halbs get a decent position as well. That's a really good position for those halbs. Those hussars can't get in close at all.
Ooh. Not committing.
He's going to have more hussars, but notice his farm count, 83. Much lower than what he had before, and he will lose that castle.
And now the hussars are trying to commit. Oh, that felt indecisive.
Oh, man. Hera, he's at 79 farms now. The only thing he can afford is hussars. There's 142 halbs in the queue for Villese.
And still more wood in the bank. That's just the crazy thing, right?
Yep. No more trees left on this map. There's a tree in the south for Hera. That's worth it. There's 2 trees to the left of that. He's kind of slowly bringing in. He wants the treb.
1800 wood left on the whole map.
He's going to try and get the treb. There's a villain there who's going to try and repair it. And... Oh, no way. No, the treb survives and the vill's repairing it.
Oh, it has to be heartbreaking. No. And now skirms are falling as well. And trying to reproduce those skirms is so tough now for Hera.
Yep.
He's buying wood. Look at that heavy price. 80 now already.
Really expensive. I think Villese has done it. From Hera's perspective, if you look at his vision, there's still entire wood lines there. Obviously, he might assume they're chopped now. Maybe that's what he had assumed earlier, Nilly. Villese just finished that giant chunk of wood. But as long as he can... Yeah, with 130 units in queue and Hera only having 43 units in queue, I think Hera just runs out of steam and can't produce units anymore.
There's another big group of Hussars there committing against the trap and not finding the kill. Holy moly, what a game. 130 pop against 200. And Hera, like, he has no idea how the bank is looking for Villese, but maybe he does. GG, well played.
Oh my goodness. And this was amazing for Villese, because not only did you beat the very first civilization picked by Hera, but with a very late pick on the draft, but also it was a 2-hour grind, which can be incredibly wearing on your nerves and your energy levels to get the win. Now, Hera's crazy with stamina, so maybe Villese, if you would have asked him, would be like, yeah, actually, I would have preferred I win in 40 minutes, not 1 hour and 40 minutes. But he gets the win, and that was the longest game, I believe, of Titans League, though we've had some long ones.
Oh, man.
What more can we really say about that one, Nilly?
1,100 wood left on the whole map.
Can't even find a tree to double click.
Oh, in the
That's
center.
11 trees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's different types of trees out there. Straggler trees. Holy cow. Well,
that was
95,000 wood collected for Villese, 67,000 for Hera, and Hera, he had more food and more gold, but eventually just got to that point of the game where maybe the humans aren't that exciting. Hera even had more stone. I think Hera had a tremendous game. If my castle gets denied, my whole strat's out the window there. I don't know what to do in the early game. I don't know if I have an option, and he fell to the monks with the humans. The skirm and the paladin play kind of worked for him, but just so smart from Villese. He must have practiced this, right? There's no way he just picked Koreans randomly. To be the first player to play Koreans in the entirety of this league and then have it work in this stage against a well-established civilization is just beastly.
I think he practiced that before. I don't think he just comes up with it out of nowhere. By the way, also, he lost close to 2,000 units, Villese, and probably 1,500 of those being wood units. And the wood discount of Koreans just really paying off in this one.
Yeah, maybe something we should have mentioned earlier. What is the discount? 10%? 20%?
I would have said 15%.
Okay, well,
let's see.
People can tell us, and then in theory, like, I know that not every single unit was
20.
a wood unit.
Except siege weapons.
20%.
But like every halberdier, every skirm that he built, every war wagon.
So in order for that bonus to feel insane, we just need to get down to the point where there's no wood left on the map. Got it. Also, Hera could have had a lot more food for the wood that he had on those farms had he got crop rotation.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's
the second
not
wood
something
upgrade.
like... Yeah, that's true. And he could have chopped through some of the trees faster. But, like, that's not something that Hera's going to look back at and be like, oh, I did get crop rotation. What a noob. You know, that's not something you really stress out about. I think it's the earlier things. And I still feel like there was more potential to raid. The thing is, there's this sense of inevitability with Hera and raiding with Hussars that you feel like he's going to find those spots. But the pressure from Villese was constant. Well done to him. But we have ourselves a series. We have 4 games, and Hera's going to be responding, I'm sure, on a home map here shortly.
Whew. So what is game 2 going to be?
So yeah, Italians for Villese. I think I'd only seen Italians on this map one other time, and it was another Finn. I think it was Villese who went Italians against ACCM's Bohemians. But maybe you saw some stuff in Gold League, Nilly, with Italians?
Well, Italians often were picked on shoals, right? Where we have seen lots of imp games as well. So the main reason why we have Italians here is the condo being so much better against gunpowder units, and therefore it's not really an option to go for Janissaries or bombard cannons or hand cannoneers. And then again, if we go for Hussars or heavy CA, Genoese become really good. So if Villese gets to pop 200 of his dreams, I think they should be better than the pop 200 of the Turk player.
That's true. It really puts additional thought into this, right? Because so many people have, like, it feels like he's almost going for some type of counter picks to everything he thinks Hera will pick here in this series. Whereas in other sets from him and many others, they just pick their best civ. It's up against someone else's best civ, but there's no real counters at play.
Yeah, yeah. And we said the same about like Leary, right? We kind of knew, okay, where would he pick his civilizations, and ACM had a bit more options. And now it feels like Villese gave himself more options and can simply play the mind games and can come up with better matchups.
Mm-hmm. Well, Italian's also cheaper to go up to the next stage, which can be really helpful, even if just saving some resources. If the build order is the same, just to get a couple of eco upgrades or make an extra scout here or there. And he's going to find his sheep. He's going to scout his map, and I'm assuming this will be a fast castle for him. What would be going through your mind right now if you're Hera? You lost the first game, but now you see Italians on the other side. Does that what goes through your mind on what you can and cannot do here?
Well, the units that I mentioned that are so good are all imp units, right? Genoese in Castle Age, not too scary. Condos in Castle Age, non-existent. So I just try to play my powerhouse unit, which is Janissaries. So I'd play some castle, ideally forward, maybe, like, my typical approach is to go, like, 2 light cav, 1 spearman into forward castle. And then it's tricky to defend there, especially with that poor main gold of Villese.
Yeah, it's a good point. Main gold is pretty close to the walls. That's probably not something Hera will be able to know before he places his castle, and I feel like maybe he would opt to place his castle near the resources he sees outside of Villese's walls. But still, I mean, Castle Age pressure can make a lot of sense. Also, Hera has shown that he has that available in his repertoire, right? Like, he's done it before.
Oh, Hera's tower rushing. He's not building a house. Oh, he is building a house. Okay. Unpanic, everyone.
Okay, but that statement right there, can you imagine, and we all do it, how stressful that must be? Someone's new to the game, trying to understand it, and we're like, oh my god, he didn't make a house, he's tower rushing. It must blow people's minds, like, what?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Also, like, how Hera is playing Arena, right? He's always queuing a next will at like 90%, instead of like just having 5 in the queue.
I think he is going to go unique unit, though, because if you weren't going unique unit, you'd probably have 2 lumber camps by now. So you just accept that your efficiency is going to be low with a unique unit push so you can apply the pressure.
Really weird scouting by Hera. He's not interested in what Villese is doing at all. So yeah,
interesting.
Kind of, and yeah, it was just a second of idle TC because he didn't queue villagers behind.
Walls for Villese. Villese with the 2 lumber camps. Villese with some farms already. Villese, did he get extra sheep somehow? Or did he push in all of his...
Nah, he can't have 9, so yeah, it has to be extra sheep. So it's 6 against... that's why Hera was still searching them.
Oh, so Villese, I mean, look at Villese's scouting. Villese was super far forward. He must have found them, and Hera didn't scout them near his base. So this actually really hurts Hera's potential with his build order.
Yeah. And he
wasn't an early lane
than
either.
He wanted to.
Yeah. And he's also going up really fast. I feel like if you lose sheep, you have to add 2 more vills. I don't know if Hera's going to be able to pull off his uptime. He might also be thinking he's going to find the sheep. But Villese most definitely found Hera's sheep. I kind of want to go back and look where they were. But then we'd have to sync up again. What do you think?
We can pause. I'm at 9:25. I can pause.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I just want to see where the sheep were. Yeah, so Hera's sheep were pretty far. Villese had sheep. If you look at Villese's map, though, his sheep were the same distance. Near his boar.
Yeah, true.
So they both had sheep that were far away. Both had kind of pushed in some deer. And Hera just didn't find his sheep there. So yeah, I'll go... I'm 9:26 if you can just get there.
Okay,
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And we'll just continue here. Sorry, trying to sync up here. But yeah, I mean, that is a really crucial thing here for Hera as he's going to arrive to the next stage and he just doesn't have the resources to execute on what he wanted to go for.
Both adding a barracks now. Quite a lot of villages here. 8 villages on wood. Really spread out relatively far. This will be tight on food, I believe, for Hera.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe a world where you don't go to stone at all now. and you make a market and you just like buy and sell resources to try and get up here.
There was one crazy Citeaux build order, pop 21 plus 2 that he played. And had no
Okay.
on stone, then went, I think, like 11 on stone.
I think that was actually against Villese,
yeah,
believe it or not.
yeah.
Yep.
Where the crazy bombard cannon finished the game. So he can build a castle at like 1330 or something. He started building it, so it was completely wild. But yeah, Hera needs to loom now. Only one villager. This is IWTC time.
This is really rough, yeah. I think again I'm not perfect at it, but I think if you're down 2 sheep, you don't go up as quick, and you have added 2 more farms. And then your feudal age time is obviously later, but your castle age time actually ends up being maybe even a little bit better than what Hera's looking at right now. Certainly a bit more smooth, but I guess you could argue that he's adding the farms now, and he'll eventually click up. And yeah, I mean, just Dark Age is a pretty basic thing. This map has always had some awkward, let's say, generations of sheep or boars, but Hera just not having it, and having lost the first game here, he's under a bit of pressure, I'm sure, in game 2.
8 seconds IWTC time. Now is trying to force drop some food here. It's not pretty. 16 seconds. Not game deciding, but for his standards, not clean.
Not exactly, not as clean as you would want. And
I'd be
on the
happy
flip
with this
side,
build order
yeah.
for myself.
The on the flip side of things, the Italians who had the additional food here didn't have to spend as much to go feudal or castle. So you have more accessible resources with the sheep when you transition into farms, and then you are already saving more resources, which is allowing Villese to put a lot of focus on the sides here. He's got a scout heading to the south right now out of a gate, which is somehow on fire.
Yeah, but
You
full
see-
HP.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
Okay.
That must be a bug. Okay, well, that hasn't been attacked. So he's scouting the south. There's only one relic down there. And, wait a second. He's going to attack Hera.
Oh, and Hera is no. Luckily for him, his build-up meant that he was doing loom. But
Yeah,
well,
true.
2 scouts on the outside.
3.
It's 1 in the inside. Is he going for a third? Yeah. Interesting. Maybe light cav and then attack. Oh, this
I
is
think
good.
so. Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit rare. Hera's just assuming that this isn't going to happen. No. Don't show your scouts yet. I'm not the biggest fan of this. That's a waste right there for Villese.
no.
And now Hera can react, and now Hera has an idea. That said, Hera doesn't know how many units are going to be sent out this way. Hera still doesn't have all of his light cav together. And for Villese, it should be a bit easier to drop the town centers and everything else. So he's doing that now. But
Extra
feel
towns.
like with some patience there for Villese, he kills 2 vills.
Yeah, I think Villese assumed no loom.
Yeah.
That's why he dove. Oh, no light
interesting.
cav. Oh, that was weird pathing.
That was very weird. And in the end, okay, weak light cav's going to go home. I think Villese is thinking, I need to think middle. Hera, he has to... Well, maybe, never mind. Hera has to respect this. Villese finds him, and yeah, in the middle, we also have engagements. An engagement that is 50-50, and Villese is not happy with that. So he's going to just dive into his eco right now.
And
Hera got husbandry.
Oh, he takes the fight? Really? No, he
Hera
can't.
got husbandry, and Hera's light cav, is it going to kill a monk? It does kill the monk, thankfully for him.
Oh, great micro there. By the way, 4 relics on the outside, as we all know. Villese only scouted 1 of them. Hera scouted all 3 of them at the top, so he will have a better idea for the mid game where to fight.
An interesting approach here from Villese. He's definitely changed things compared to what we've seen many times before, and he's making it awkward for Hera to contest the middle. Look at that. As Hera has to respect these 3 light cav, Hera loses the monk there going for the relic.
Oh, that's so annoying. Why is, like, Hera, just 2 small palisades on your gold makes life so much easier, no?
Yep, and a house next to the monastery, and then suddenly these units will never go through. Hera sends more light cav to the middle. Villese should sense this now. He's going to get a relic. He does have 2 weak light cav. I think there's a lot going on for him, but I'd love to see him heal those. Hera must know that relic is gone now, so here he comes, and Hera should be able to kill this monk. The spearman could kill the light cav, obviously, but the guard is just simply too far away. So beautiful recovery from Hera, who's going 2 stables. So he does not want to give up map control. So just full light cap production from Hera. So he's starting off the Castle Age in this game, kind of how he ended the last game.
Oh, Monk actually misclicked here by Villese at the bottom. Was giving the relic a kiss, but then going back now.
Oh boy. And he's tried to do a lot here, but maybe it's been too complicated. Hera will thwart the attack in the south. Hera also killing a light cab in the middle. And as you said, that Monk not grabbing that relic could be the difference between getting it right now or at all. And Monk goes down. Hera knows about this. That's going to be another kill for Hera as long as he follows through.
Oh, God. So many kills here. Hallelujah. But behind this, obviously, Villese now 3 TC against Hera, still with only 1.
Yeah, that's true. I would say great recovery from Hera, though. Could have been so much worse. He could have lost villagers. He could have fewer relics. So the start was not good. It's been a great recovery. And Hera with map control is a position that many people... Okay, let me back up. Hera with map control is very hard to stop. We'll just say that.
Agreed. I think this is the spot where both players heavily go onto stone. And as we can see, Hera, he wants to go for his Janissaries. He still wants to go for the aggression. And Villese should know that some aggression is coming. It's kind of tough for him to get map control back by going Light Cav, Monk, Spearman, though. So I think going for the defensive castle and just playing with a better economy should be his play.
Yeah, and I think Hera understands that he's behind an eco that'll have relics. And he was on stone a long time before he even took these couple engagements here. So Hera's castle is going to come up really fast. And I would be very concerned if I were Villese. Obviously, you don't know how good Hera's attack is. And, oh, man, actually... so many good things could happen here for Hera. The gate is being attacked. Yeah. I'm stressed out right now for Villese. And it's also confusing because the gate was on fire for whatever reason in the first place.
Now picking up some of the relics from the outside. Hera will get at least 2 there. Already has 3 home. This is looking really good relic-wise for Hera.
Maybe a light cav conversion. It does happen, so that's kind of nice. And then houses for Villese to keep the light cav out on the side. And that's going to be a dead Monk for Hera. Could be 2, actually. Unlikely, though.
Takes the heal advantage. Tries to go home, but only 6 HP. Not going to happen.
Villese tries to convert a light cav on the outside. Also gets that. But I think you just run away with it. And again, you expect some pressure here from Hera. Hera's 1 TC. Fast imp. Here come the villagers. I know Hera's a massive name in our community, right?
He doesn't have...
I feel like
he didn't leave a single village on stone. So it's 670. He needs to buy another 100. Yeah, okay.
But I feel like if Hera loses this game, right? It's going to be so hard for him to come back. He can do it, but no one in these quarterfinals, thank you, would have an easy time coming back down from being 2-0.
Didn't we have JMB Edition 1 of Season 2 that Hera was down to 0 against Viper?
Edition 1 of Season 2. I do not know.
The thing 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I have no clue.
I think
but
so.
Wait, no. Actually, I do remember that. As a small caveat, in Viper's defense, he also had 2 other events leading up to that set. Like, he had an event, and then he played, 3 rounds, and it was, 10 hours in is when that happened.
Okay.
So, I don't want to sound like...
you don't want to sound like Viper.
I don't want to sound like Viper and say I was too tired, but that day I definitely the amount of times he got housed and whatever. I was seeing it,
By the way, still massive compliment to you that we saw Portuguese today and see Hera today, and that you didn't mention your win against Hera yet.
I was waiting for you to bring it up, Nilly. Oh, looks like... Okay, Nilly, thank you. Well, I mean, I was going to feel great about my win against Hera, and I still think I could have beaten him, but he did delete his TC by accident.
Yeah. I would have not mentioned that on stream, though.
Well, someone else is going to bring it up, so... Well, I'll tell you what, Nilly. Hera's aggression is incredible, but if he doesn't break through here, and these stone walls are down, and Villese drops 6 barracks and spams condos, I'm kind of worried for Hera's strategy.
Yeah, and barracks are being built. That's the plan.
Yeah. Condos, good against gunpowder. Hera will be able to make Trebs. Hera's made Janissaries. He will have the Hussar upgrade for free, and he's even getting Bloodlines, which I think is a very nice choice. But Hera's economy is really struggling. On the back of 6 relics, though, will be 7, maybe 8. I've kind of lost track of some of them.
H1 is coming home, and we have 1 in the hand of Villese in the back, so it will be 8-1 relics.
Okay. The monks trying to get conversions. Monks do get 1. And so that's good. I mean, you're never really expecting that. Also, maybe a really good time for Loom.
By the way, Loom queued up behind Imp, yeah.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, God, that is a risky game to play. What a competitive Imp timing, though, from Villese. Seriously, this is a fast Imp, low eco play from Hera. This Imp time is almost expected at this level. But what a crazy Imp from Villese to match it.
Okay,
Does he have enough barracks here? He's got 4. Not in love with that number. But he's struggling for wood. Hera's got a Bombard Cannon and a Treb on the way. He has the Relic advantage. But he's behind by 50 villagers. Such a massive difference.
And Villese didn't lose that many farms. He lost like access to like 6-7 farms. That's okay-ish.
Yep. Also, Hera going for the stable. I know it's a small thing, but I would be ramming the barracks.
Yep.
If you know what's coming.
100%.
You'd never go for the stable there. Hera goes in with Hussars. Hussars should be good, decent against the condos, but I don't think they're great. And his Hussars were trying to raid, and the Hussars almost got trapped in there. So they're taking some damage here. One might even be converted.
Monk jumps into the town center. Bombard Cannon is out. And those Hussars, well, a bit of a distraction for sure.
Yeah. I think we're going to see one of my favorite things in this game is the full wall delete.
Okay.
No, not that. Not murder holes. But the full wall delete. If you think you're in a position to clear the mid, and oh my god, some crazy raids from Hera. Such a good job, even killing the monk. But if you think you're in a position to clear the mid, shift delete all your walls down and just rush and go for it. Could be so cool.
But still, if we're Hera, didn't we need like CA?
Delete the walls. Mass delete him. Come on. Let's see it. 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 Mass delete him. Don't give Hera a choke point. He doesn't care.
Still like 3 tiles wide, right?
Yeah.
And you only have like 15 units, but now can close on the distance, and Janissaries should fall so quickly.
Yep. And the Bombard Cannons for Hera need to take that Treb to have any chance. The Bombard Cannons were saved in the back, but the one on the front, that won't be saved. You need more reinforcements here, though, Villese. You need to somehow have more condos all the time. That's the whole point of having eco. He takes out another Bombard Cannon.
Only 23
Hera needs
farmers.
to take out the Treb. That's true.
Oh, he repaired the farm instead of the trap. For a moment there.
I mean, the Castle Fire has done a lot here, and the Janissaries are adding up. Hera's mixing in more Hussars.
Yeah.
Villese doesn't have enough Trebs. Hera could maybe hold.
Ooh. I think he's swarming in way too much against the castle there.
Yeah, maybe. I thought more patience was needed. Like, I really thought that he could have waited till he had a bigger mass. Wait till he had, like, 40, and then go. And then it's an easy clear. He really is throwing a lot of units away, but for a Bombard Cannon, it's probably worth it.
Are you sure? Like, he's really running out of military here. Now, Hussars can dive again. Janissaries, they will be okay from distance. We have 4 traps. Oh, that's a lot of repairing villagers now being sent. Tries to get the castle. Won't save that trap. Maybe the second one. Oh, his own condos.
I think he overestimated the condos. I think he had the position to win this game, and he forced the issue so early. And Hera's monks. The monks have gotten so many valuable conversions too, and the repairs, the timing. Hera, what's happening? Is he actually going to come back in this game?
But if the castle falls, what are we doing then? It's Hussar Janissary. And he can't, it's still 1 Bombard Cannon that's not being used. Hera, why is he retreating here?
Take the Trebs. Take the Trebs, bro. He's got no army.
Why is the Bombard Cannon not being used?
I'm very confused. Sanctity now. But now, I don't think he really has this window anymore. And now, Villese can chill, too. I feel like you could take a deep breath, and you could seed some more farms again, and then suddenly produce some more condos.
Now, Genoese are being added here, as we can see. Fletching is coming in. Botkin is coming, Ballistics is coming in as well. And those Janissaries, they won't have the greatest day now anymore.
I guess like Hera is adding a lot more economy at home. So maybe he felt like I've done enough now and I have the relics. So let's shift back to defense. As you can see the third TC now. So maybe it was just like a thought process from him. He's got a lot of monks out here. This has definitely been a recent change in Hera's play. He loves to add the monks. Also love the fact he stonewalled the side. But imagine if Villese were to somehow get into Hera's eco with condos. Like the other side isn't walled in the north.
Ah, yeah, sneaky barracks. That would be something. Just send like 2 villagers out. Would be such a small investment for you and could really throw off your opponent.
8 relics to 0. The relic that Villese had in his base is just still sitting there. He's starting to make Genoese crossbowmen, a unit that should just rock Hera if Hera doesn't have the bombard cannons. And it's a unit that could help out with taking out the monks. Turks don't get block printing. I think it's either they don't get block printing or they don't get redemption.
I think
it's one of the crucial
block
ones.
printing. That's why the elephants are so good as well. I like the Burmese matchup.
So Hera is falling back. Also, Villese has some gold in the south, which is really helpful because he was almost out of the gold in his base, and Hera was taking the gold on front of his base. So that's something that maybe Hera could look to. Villese is actually going to see that Hera is walled. As Hera goes for Bombard Tower?
Okay. It's certainly something that can buy you time.
Yeah. There's only one player that I would have expected from Platinum League to make Bombard Towers, and that would have been MBL. But there have been some instances where MBL's discussed it, and casters have discussed it this year on buying time and holding with the Turks, and how it's possibly an underrated thing to do. Hera certainly got the golden stone, so let's see it.
Okay, Hera is on a reasonable economy. 90 villagers here against 98. This is getting really competitive.
It is. And he's got the relics. You could argue his economy is actually ahead of Villese's.
Yeah. 100%.
And bombard towers with bombard cannons with crazy range are just so good at stalling. I'm liking that decision from Hera more and more. He drops his first one. I would say that he probably won't do it, but with that many monks, maybe just get like 3 of them and move the relics to the back corner. Just get him out of here in case the push comes, because you are still kind of exposed near there. Also, you have to stonewall the other area of the map so you don't get raided there.
100%. Oh, that's such a big mistake, actually.
Villese is expecting that to already be the case, especially because he sees walls from Hera on the other side, as we see Elite Genoese Crossbowmen now. But Elite Genoese Crossbowmen and condos, they have 2 things in common, and it's that they don't have a lot of range. I know the condos have 0 range, but the point is how are you going to get close to these cannons and a big shot from Hera? Oh boy.
Yeah, maybe you get your own monks.
Yeah.
If you're Italians here.
Oh, this is just the Turk dream, isn't it? Hussars, bombard cannons, bombard towers, lining them up. And Villese is on some type of a timer here. Is taking all the gold in the south. Like, that's still so valuable to him.
It's
but
both
how
extra
does he
gold
engage?
spots and the one extra stone spot there. Just crazy.
I think, honestly, in this position, if you're Hera, once you're sure that you can hold the middle, you try and bust through that southern side and raid, because you know how much golden stone is there.
Oh, yeah.
Hold mid and then push south, and then I think you're officially have won this game and tied up the series.
Well, let's see. For now, he decides to snipe the monk in the center. Bombard cannon still doing their work. Now we even go for Pavis. More armor for condos and Genoese.
Yep, perfect upgrade here. An upgrade that you could have had before, but your cannon's gone down. And Hera is having fun right now, man. He's going to get conversions. He's going to take a great engagement, and the condos just haven't really impressed for me here. They haven't accomplished enough, and the Genoese crossbowmen, they could always still be taken out by the bombard tower or the bombard cannons, and they have to run away.
With only 30 farmers, I don't like this engagement at all. Like, we needed to build up our numbers way more.
Yeah, but it's tough, right? He's on the clock. So I think he's felt this pressure for some time. I could tell he's felt the pressure immediately after the first fight didn't work with the condos.
He's not that much on the clock, though. He has 2 extra gold spots at the bottom. Like,
true.
he's on the clock in like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair.
But right now he can still go for the better army and just build his economy first. Like 29 farmers is really underwhelming.
Hera just adds 30 farms like it's nothing on the left side.
Oh yeah.
Just
Holy
boom.
moly.
And just 30 farms.
Yeah.
And then micros with his bombard cannons. Oh man, you know it's bad when you've lost all your most of your condos and you only have 11 Genoese.
Oh, yeah.
His army count's just so bad right now. This is giving Hera so much time.
It's like how Hera's back into this game.
Yeah, unbelievable, really. You really felt like condos against Janissary would have been enough. But Hera's castle and I think Villese forcing the fight too early when he didn't need to. There was no big push from Hera. Hera didn't have a lot of trebs or bomber cans pressuring a castle or anything.
And especially
he thought he would win it.
Especially against monks, right? It is like trickling in with like 3 condos, then 5 condos, then 5 condos again. Just makes the whole so much easier for your opponent.
Yeah, he would have. I genuinely believe that the whole complexion of this game changed because he took the fight when he did. And if he waited for 15 more units, this game would look entirely different.
I think we would be in game 3.
Yeah, and I think that Hera would be dead. But instead, Hera, he's taken this position. He is going to wall the other side, even bombard tower the other side. And he just says, try and kill me. How are you going to do it? You just can't. Seriously, though, I think Hussar raids in the south, and this game's over. Because Villese is having trouble pushing the middle right now.
Yeah. He still has the stone walls, right? But yeah, you can technically break it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of bombard cannons now. Holy moly.
Yeah, a lot of towers. How many do we have in total here for Harry? He's got 8. And he's mining lots of gold, mining lots of stone. We see stable upgrades now for Villese. Haven't seen him rise above 20 Genoese or above 20 condos over the last couple of minutes. It seems like he's not sure what to make here. So Hussar is just like a good long-term thing to have. I actually don't mind Hussar here against the unit that Hera's showing either. Hussars could be really effective.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Could maybe go in for some raids of his own. Can find some snipes. Hera goes for more stables himself.
Big shots from Hera. And he's just having fun. Using all the range of his cannons. Sniped 2 cannons there. And now he's getting elite Janissary and he's getting armor. So I genuinely feel like Hera does not believe he can lose this game.
Sold a lot of wood here. Holy moly. Bought a castle for himself. Hi.
There is actually a stables going up in the back of Hera's base right now. That's going to be something he's going to have to put a stop to.
It sees it instantly though. I think this could have been a spot where you like build 2 barracks, 2 stables first.
And you wait, yeah. But let's see if Hera's distracted in the middle now. Monks, bombard cannons, Janissaries. Going for camel now. He's just getting everything. Still would really like Cav Archer, honestly. I don't think it's bad, but he feels like he wants to put a stop to this raid as quickly as possible. His opponent's going to be going for Hussars, so he wants to try camel. Still do feel like, like Villese should have never gotten away with castling the south. Hera hasn't exactly been pushing. He's holding like there's no more gold left on the map, and he is the relics. But maybe his approach is to actually push here, and he doesn't really feel like the gold in the south is something he can contest at the moment, while also defending this crazy push that's coming from Villese in the middle.
Let's see how much of a push is really coming here. 70 military against 50 Hussars are now coming in as well. All military upgrades except the last armor for those Genoese.
Yep. And those cannons are the most important thing for Hera. He's got a lot of them. He's got 8 of them. Villese is kind of ducked underneath them the first time, but there's just too many. And the bombard towers are helping as well. And Hera clears it all. Now is his invitation to push.
Genoese still contesting. That's really ballsy from them. And queue is not that long. Look at that. 2 Genoese in the queue. Castle count not that scary either. It's tricky to get into proper numbers for him again.
Villese is using the select all stable hotkey, and the stables in the back are sending the Hussars to the middle.
Oh boy.
He's doing select all stable, and he's set the gather point there, and so he's not raiding from those stables. He could be killing villagers with those Hussars.
Yeah, and that's something that you don't see Hera or Viper do, for example.
Yep. They'll control group the stables they want, and they won't do select all. It's actually very uncommon, I think, for most high-level players to use select all hotkeys. A couple of the bombard cannons go down right now.
I think you should like always use select all till you get into the scenario where you don't want to produce out of all of them.
Yeah. It's just a habit, right? Like, I recently started using select all, and it's helped me in a lot of aspects of my play. But I do that. I make the same mistake, and like this is game changing. Those hussars could have killed 30 villagers. Like, they're just still streaming to the middle
Easily. It's like, how many hussars died here? Like, we can see like this castle,
Like
very
10.
far in the back, already killed 14 units.
Yeah, that castle's getting all the kills. I mean, maybe he'll realize it, and maybe Hera will, take out the stables by then. But this is pretty crazy that this is happening right now, and it's pretty crazy Hera's even alive in this ridiculous game. But he's still got 8 relics. Villese didn't even get the one in his base. I feel like I would have snagged it, personally. I think it would have paid off by now. But, man, what a crazy contest. And, okay, he is now realized. So now he has set the rally point somewhere else in Hera's eco, I assume. And Hera's camels did chase some of it down, but that could potentially add up there.
So much easier to micro the army here for Hera than for Villese.
Yep. And you can afford to make mistakes because you have the towers, you have the castles, and you have the relics.
Yeah, it's impossible that your opponent jumps you.
Yep. Anytime Villese makes an engagement, it feels like he's going to have to out-micro and then some to have any chance. Those sneaky stables in the back, though, could maybe make a difference. We'll see. Hera's just going to drop a bombard tower there. I like that.
Yeah, agreed.
Because Hera doesn't want to put any more focus into that. He wants to push. Also, another trend that I've noticed with a couple high-level players is they use... I don't know if you use this, but the select all military. Do you use that?
I use select all military on screen and select all idle military.
Ooh, okay. So there's an extra... I didn't know there was a select all military on screen hotkey.
That's the one I use like 100 times per game.
Okay, gotcha. I've seen some instances where select all military is used, and then players are sending... Even like some of the best in the world are sending random units to their death because they don't know where all their military is.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually added select all item military for Flemish Revolution.
That makes sense, actually. Oh, man. I've actually, Villese is hoping that he had that, wishing that he had that tech right now because this is just not looking like he could push. Hera hasn't really damaged the castle much. But it still just feels like Hera's just a couple moments away from finishing off this game and tying up this series.
What a mental strength out of Hera. Losing that game 1, being that far behind in game 2.
Yep.
And now getting into this controlled game. Impressive.
Crazy. Yeah, and everything about this start was awkward too. Everything that could have gone wrong maybe went wrong for him there, and the Hussars will go in for Villese's Trebs. Villese's castle's going to go down, and Villese he might have more army. And there's Genoese crossbowmen might be good, but I don't think he has the long term here. He's trying, and Hera's just creeping forward with more towers, though. Hera has to be careful with his Janissaries. Does lose a couple of them. But still his cannons continue to control the map. More Hussars are running in, and the GG's called. We have another close quarterfinal. Well done, Hera. What a comeback.
Yeah, that was sick. Like how he was at like 40 against 90 vills, it felt like. And then those condos, like when we had the fight, there were like 25 villagers idle, farm count was really low, and Villese's eco really slipped up there. It's obviously like the pressure is so immense and in your face, so it's easy to slip up. But it's just like on this level, I'd love to see like 15 vills just sent and get farms in the corner of the map.
I think he really overestimated what the condos were going to be able to achieve. I'm going to just look back here real quick. 30 minutes. Is that when he took the first fight? Soon after that.
Oh, okay.
Like 32. Okay, so at that point, like my issue with the whole situation is Hera wasn't exactly pushing massively. I guess he did have the bomber cannon, so there was a threat there. But he had 18 condos. It felt like he could have waited till he had 40. Right? Even lost the TC. And then he clears up the first fight instantly. And then Hera doesn't have the time to catch up because I'm at 31-13. 58 vills for Hera, 94 for Villese. Obviously lots of idols.
30 idols, yeah.
But maybe it was the idols or something. I mean, Hera got some insane value. Also, I want to know like how many conversions Hera got in this game because I think the monks had massive impact there. Looks like it was 16 conversions, and maybe half of them happened in that fight, but that fight had to be it for Villese, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. Relic gold in the end, 8,000 as well for Hera, with 8 relics to none.
Yeah, crazy. And it was a good recovery from him. Remember, he lost his first monk, and he was kind of struggling on where he needed to send his light cap, and the double stable commitment from Hera to control the map worked out for him.
At 30 minutes, it's 103 villagers, but there's 53.
Yeah, I feel like that should fall into the category of should never happen with those stats. But Hera did every little small move right. He was in a spot where if he slipped once, he would die, and he just applied the proper amounts of pressure. Crazy. So we were just talking about counter picks and how Villese has been trying to counter Hera's picks. Hera, I believe, was hoping, praying that Villese had Aztecs. As Burmese could be fairly decent there for a bunch of different reasons. But the Burmese, they do struggle, at least what people think is, they struggle against heavy archer civs. And when they got into the game, Hera sees Burmese versus the Britons. And Hera's going to have to be really creative here, is how I feel.
Yeah, I think so as well. Burmese, I don't really think what they can do. Like, Monk Rush, not great against crossbow play. It's like early imp, you don't really have a timing. This should be something really creative out of Hera, I agree.
Yeah, and creative probably meaning aggressive. And, the positive for him would be that if he were to take the front of Villese's map, there is a lot of resources there. So he could, in theory, deny both the 4-tile golds and the stone. The other positive is that they're actually quite close together. And that can happen a lot on this version of Arena. So he doesn't have to venture that far if he wants to go for a monk siege push.
Still, I'm thinking about, what can Burmese do here? Like, a Rambire not an option, skirms are horrible, onagers are getting sniped. It has to be, monk play. It has to be a monk play, which is not great, but I think your best option.
I think monk siege, yep. And I think you go up lightning quick. Yep. You go 2 middle monasteries, maybe, right next to the relic. And you hope that Villese goes for a crossbow, which some people do with Britons. Convert the early crossbowman, snowball it with some siege push. No. But yeah, I mean, Burmese just do not have... It is true. Skirmishers aren't always the most important thing, and we've seen examples of Burmese doing well on closed maps.
Oh, look at their that. Eco. Villese knows that aggression has to be coming. He's building the houses already. It's clever.
Yeah, it's a good habit to have, right? It's just to make your houses as part of your wall.
What's your build order here? I think it's 21 plus 2 with selling stone, I believe.
For Hera?
Yeah. I think if he's I think 23 plus 2 is pretty easy. I think those top clowns can play 21 plus 2.
I was going to say 22 plus 2.
Yeah, it's certainly safe.
And you go...
If Hera's not experienced with the build order, 22 plus 2 makes lots of sense.
Yeah, if he's doing what we think, I think the 3 on wood indicates that it could be that. And then he transfer more to wood a little bit later. What do you do in Villese's shoes, though, right? So, if this is just a straight boom game, and you go Arbalest, that Burmese are dead. Burmese have... Honestly, they lack a 2nd and 3rd armor on their skirms.
I think I play 1 TC defensive castle.
Really?
How can he lose?
You can lose if they notice it, go fast imp into trebs and monks.
Yeah, well, I will have a competitive imp timing. Right? I play 1 TC. Just get defensive castle up, 2 longbows, and then 24 minutes imp as well.
It's actually kind of scary too when you're in Villese's shoes, because you should win, and they're going to send a lot of crap at you, and you're not exactly sure what you need to do to stop it. I'm actually a little frightened for him here. I think that this is this is a no-lose situation for Hera in terms of this matchup, because he should lose this game, and he's going to be applying the pressure, and it could really, stress out his opponent.
This is a spot where I kind of want to do interviews during the set.
Yeah, guys, we need to pause. Be like, Villese, what do you think's going to happen here? Hera, what are you going to try and do? Yeah. That would be interesting. Well, I mean, the positive, obviously, for Villese is back gold, back stone.
Hera has 5 fills in the queue. This is not what we expected.
He's going to cancel the fills, right?
He can't.
I could genuinely see Hera just going like Kevin booming still, but I
no.
do not think that helps you against Britons.
Like Cavalier
Like Hera can do it.
No, what are they playing?
Like, so like there are instances, and I don't know if you feel this way, but there are many instances with like some of the best, like Leary, Hera, Viper, where they will do something, and they will win with it, and it is absolutely suboptimal. And I believe Hera's so good that he could test like Cav and go into boom and do all those things and somehow make it happen. But I think he shouldn't like. I wonder if this is a situation where your level, like if he does that, kind of hurts him, you know, because he feels like he can just, you know, get away with whatever it is.
Do you know if Hera or Leary played first? Like, did Hera see the Burmese game of Leary?
I do not know the order in which these games are played. I
Could have
believe
been at the same
Hera.
time even.
I believe from what I heard, Hera played yesterday.
Okay.
Because he couldn't be available today to play. Excuse me. So, yeah,
Okay.
but that's interesting too, right? Like, did he hear from Leary? Leary saying, "Hey, like I did this with Burmese." Did that influence his picks here? But yeah, the barracks from Hera tells me he's going to try and go scouts. And the thing is, again, another arena game. I don't even like his build. He's not. I don't even think he's going to have the res.
This time he's not missing sheep. Like, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
How does
Unless
he have
it's
no
gone up.
sheep?
I guess he ate his sheep
But how quickly?
very quickly. I guess. I don't know. He should normally have like one sheep left.
Yeah,
with the
look
builds.
at that. Like, Britain's player is having fewer builds on berries and more sheep left.
I have no clue.
Should we investigate? Or,
No, there's no way he didn't have sheep.
well, maybe he shot his bow or something? Nah. Like, he has no wood as well? For the...
He didn't go to wood. He didn't go to wood as fast. He brought in food. He was at 3 on wood. He might have even delayed his lumber camp.
Okay, well, maybe
I'm
double
not
lumber
sure.
camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hungry
Like
builds?
it just feels like he was super heavy on food early with this build, so he
Okay.
can get up as quickly.
Ooh, scout fight in the center. Both got to 10 HP and then went back.
But yeah, like I don't really know of a build with a non-eco bonus civ where you go 2 farms. Like he's now adding the farms, so he just needs to brush up on his build. He had 2 farms hoping he'd have the food, but he's squeaking by. It's actually just like the previous game. It's so interesting.
14...
There he goes.
18 seconds idle time. But it's just 17.
Nearly. You remember when you said I would just go defensive castle? I think like I'm laughing because I feel like I totally get that, and I could see you or I like trying that because we're expecting all this crazy play, and then we make the castle, and then we're like, "What? He's going light cav? What?" and then suddenly we're super far behind in economy.
That's how I roll. Like, there so often, like I outsmart myself and think I'm so clever and go for strategies, and then my opponent goes for something that I believe to be stupid. For example, if I kill Song Scout, he has no idea how my map looks like, and he tower rushes me, and I only have 2 aggressive wood lines.
Oh yikes!
Stuff that I don't believe.
Yeah. Yeah, well, sometimes I wish I could just turn off my brain when I play, you know? And not think as much and
Would be
just
the
autopilot. So,
By the way, Villese opened archery range, but won't go for any. This will be a full boom, I believe. Look at how many villagers he has on wood. Crazy.
yeah. I didn't have a single archer. It's been a confusing game. Based on what we kind of expected in this matchup, it's been confusing. But I do like what I'm seeing from Hera here. He's going to likely go for Siege, and you are correct, Nilly. It's immediate TCs here for Villese. He thinks late game is his win condition here, so that's what he'll go for.
Okay, scouting all the relics here, and it will most likely be 5 relics to none, but with a solid up to 20 villager lead here for Villese once we get into real fighting.
Hera could boom as well off this. Like he's got a lot of wood. Really needs a new lumber camp eventually, but he could have a sizable eco on the back of this. I'm surprised Hera doesn't have horse color yet. That indicates to me that he's not going to boom a lot. And he definitely could get away with squeezing it in. So maybe he'll just do that before any additional farms.
does not have a market, so balancing economy will be tricky. And oh, look at that. Heavily seeding farms now. Oh boy, oh boy.
Without
6 new
horse collar.
farms. Yeah.
He certainly forgot that, right? There's no reason to not have horse collar there, I think.
Yeah, heavily agreed.
Okay, monks on the way. Hera is fully surrounded Villese. Again, this is that stress that I'd be feeling. I'd be like, I'm supposed to win this matchup, but this is awfully aggressive. And relics are no joke, man. And also Hera going for a ram. I love that.
Yeah. Ram
I think Villese's getting like too defensive because he thinks late game is good for him, and Hera's got an appropriate amount of aggression here. Kind of reminds me of the previous game.
Yeah, lots of relics for sure for Hera. Villese is so chill. Holy moly. Look at that. Like now it's the first unit that he builds.
Yeah. But I'm not... Oh, lock the gate first, please. Sometimes the villagers will be stupid here. Lock the gate. Please lock it. I just don't trust villagers in this game. Lock it. There's a monk there. Hera, great decision to add the monk. And I like the decision to add the walls as well. It just buys a little bit more time.
Okay, conversion stopped. Still 1 TC play.
Oh. I mean, Hera is no stranger to 1 TC plays. And on Arabia, right? Like, he would love to go Knights and Siege. He's pretty darn close here. Mangonel could come out next, and he's getting Redemption as well, which is a bit interesting. But he could convert buildings with Redemption.
Is Villese getting enough army? He's 14 villages ahead. Like, no... Why is he not, like, fully stonewalling here?
Yeah,
okay, now
I mean, he's going to do it now, but it's way too late. Way too late.
Oi, 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 oi.
Wow. Nilly, he doesn't have Loom. I'm very confused. This game has confused me. I mean, it's been a long series for these two with some long games, but just so much work has been created for yourself here, Villese. You had so much time. You knew exactly what was coming.
Now he's looming. He has 5 archers without Botkin even.
Oh my word, this is the dream scenario for Hera, and he's going to be able to get through, and he's going to be able to kill villagers, and I am shocked. Villese has played so well today.
Full idle TCs.
There's no better warning, right? He saw the ram, he saw the light cap. This is not a surprise to him.
He still had to scout alive as well. It's so shocking.
I guess maybe he just kind of felt like he would have been okay, but
37 idols.
He's really in a bad spot. And now, actually, Hera could be in the better position economically. Just because of the idle time. And of course, it's a dream scenario for Hera to push and be more aggressive.
Oi, 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 oi. Okay, crossbows
what
around.
A weird spot.
It's still 12 villager lead, right? But it should have been so much easier and so much cleaner. Oh, crossbows. Hui.
Yep. A shot of Hera with the monks here, trying to convert the crossbows. Currently, no Bodkin arrow for the crossbows. Hera converts a Vill there. Converts another villager as well. So the eco KD isn't exactly accurate. But still, you know, building up towards crossbowmen, building up towards a defensive castle. Hera has been on 1 TC. Hera's still no horse collar. And Hera's going to drop a castle too. So the castle timing is going to be important here.
Botkin coming now.
Siege is coming as well. Micro is so important here for Villese. We know he can do it, Nilly. We've seen this so many times from him. He can absolutely micro all this back. But that is so many monks from Hera. Oh my god, he's got 10 monks.
Well, let's see how he can micro against those. Obviously, just focusing down the Mangonel is the most important thing. Oh, conversions locked in.
To all the arena players who have been going for these crazy monk strats the last 2 years, you guys made a mistake, man. You guys made a mistake because the top players are starting to do it now. And you're going to be the ones complaining about monks soon, not the top players.
Is that castle aggressive enough? I think he could have gone more aggressively.
That's perfect for me. I mean, maybe I'm playing a little bit more scared than you do. I think that castle's in the perfect spot.
Well, the crossbows can't fight, right? So I think you can just go 3 tiles closer.
No loom! No horse collar, no loom!
Oh, man.
Remember that part where I said that you could just do stuff that might not necessarily click, but they get away with it?
Oh no, he's deleting the farms. Don't tell me he's trying to build a castle there. That would be horrible.
No, you have to drop it behind your TC,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Next to the gold. That TC has to be given up, yeah.
Yep, you just have to give it up, indeed. And Light Cav going in. Light Cav will back away now.
Why is he not
Needs
building
to
the
be
castle?
built soon. If he doesn't build the castle before the TC's down, he could be completely dead. I think he's really just feeling the heat here, Nilly. He's gonna build it back there. Build it behind your TC.
I think he is expecting Hera to be up before him.
Oh yeah. That makes more sense. That makes a lot of sense. And he does click up. They're gonna be up at very similar times here.
And this
Yeah,
should be
that's
better for the
precisely why he
Britain
did
player.
that. I think so too. However, the interesting thing here is that Hera has 10 monks, and block printing and all those upgrades very cheap for the Burmese. I'd like to see him get the 5th relic. There's no better time to go out and snag that, I think. But he is very focused on the push.
Bit of a surprise. Didn't get it.
Back away. Don't want to donate any conversions. Your castle fire will help you in some ways. Hera now sees the castle fire, and both players will realize this is a Treb war. And the crossbowmen are going to have even more range once Imp comes in. Hera's not on stone either, interestingly enough. He's actually going to go bombard cannons. He's going for a university right now.
Yep, makes lots of sense. Masonry, crucial upgrade here as well.
Yep.
Bracer will be important for those crossbows. And those monks, well, they will get to reasonable range.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? If you convert the crossbowmen and then you're both making trebs, I actually think it might be easier, but absolutely is easier for Hera to make monks than it is for Villese to make crossbows at the moment.
But the micro is just so much easier. Like crossbow patrol in, once he starts converting, retreat, maybe you've killed something. Like the clickety-clacking that Hera has to do the whole game will be just so annoying.
I think even though Hera's really good with monks, once you get above 10 monks, it's really hard to really get as much value.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you convert half the army, it's still good enough, right? Because that army will turn around and attack Villese. So Villese's with the quote-unquote better civilization. He makes it to Imp slightly faster. First Treb's on the way. And now we have Bracer. I did love the fletching upgrade there from Hera. I think a lot of players don't do that. Your castle is one of your most important weapons with this push. So why not?
Look how Villese is constantly moving his crossbows here. Like, no reason. Like, there's no attack coming, right? Just build 2 outposts and you see everything. Optimize your economy. But no, he's just so impatient.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, this isn't the type of situation he maybe thought he would be in. And all right, both players have to be careful with trebs. I wonder if Hera will treb Villese's treb or if he trebs Villese's castle. It feels like he's going to treb the treb. Yeah,
it's the only thing he can attack right now. If he tries to go for the castle, then he will get outranged.
Which is why that castle spot was actually massive here for Villese. And he needs to make sure that he's repairing his trebs constantly. Both players. So many repairs are needed. Okay, monks will have 12 range, which is more than the crossbowmen. Oh my god. Look at these conversions. He got 1 already.
Whoa, lots of them locked in. Holy moly.
Yep.
Easy transition into the villagers.
Okay, Hera is mining stone again. Both players making trebs. This is so nerve-wracking. Hera converted another. This is insane.
It's only 1 archer range producing. Now a second one.
Honestly, I paid attention to it. He's never really had the res to Q multiple. The range does produce pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He's at the limit here. It's so tough. Okay, monks going for the conversions.
What?
This is where it gets difficult to control the monks. Hera's getting a lot of conversions. The micro's needed because of the mangonel as well. Hera, he gets some good shots here. He's got a bombard cannon now as well for the trebs. Can he get the timing here? He lost the castle, Hera. Can he get the trebs? Can he take the crossbows? The trebs have to pack up. Ah! Villese loses 1. He's packing up the other one. He's going to roll to the left. He'll be fine. Roll to the left.
Close to the castle. Oof. Now skirms being added. They are not special.
No space. He has no space.
For the farms.
How dare you, by the way. Skirms are special if they want to be. Oh, man.
Okay.
I like it. You're like, oh, we'll skip that. Thank you, T90. Treb goes down for Hera. He's got more monks than Villese does military.
Gets another conversion. Ay. Scum numbers are tricky to get to. Bombard cannons continuing to move forward. Hera's playing this one beautifully.
Yeah, seriously, insane. And the Bombard can play against Britons. It works because the Britons haven't been able to get all their techs and they haven't had the time. The aggression has worked out here. Not yet. Let's see. Will the Trebs go down? That's the important thing. If Hera takes the Trebs, he probably wins this game. It's crazy. I think he's going to get the Trebs. He gets one.
Gets a bombard cannon in exchange. But yeah, look at that. Military. Close to non-existent.
Yep.
9 skirms, some crossbows. Villese calls it.
What in the world was that game? Look back at Hera's eco for a second. Look at this. All in play. No horse color, no problem. He just needed enough food to get to imp, get to that composition. What a crazy performance from him. That, to me, just feels like as close as a gift of a game as you would get if you're Villese with Britons versus the Burmese. And he was so greedy, Nilly. And at least initially, when the light cav got in, he allowed Hera's push to do, I think, a little too much damage there. My goodness, what a game, though. I mean, there's no question. If Hera didn't get in further with the light cav, he still would have had a good imp timing. He still would have had tons of monks, and the strategy still could have worked.
I think just like Villese saw it so early. No archer production, no walls. Like the game is so much easier if you just have one layer of stone walls.
Yeah. Remember we said after game 1, I was like, who is this going to exhaust more? Obviously, you know, it could hurt Hera because he lost that game. But there's been, like, that was major there. Allowing the light cav to kill villagers was major. That you never see that. That was questionable for me. And then remember the game before, Villese is a little bit more patient, takes a better fight. Oh, what could have been for Villese. Hera finds himself up 2-1 here in this quarter and continues to show that he could play on the closed maps. Now, what's interesting is the 2 maps that are remaining are very open. It's Arabia and Acropolis. So it's been a very clowny series thus far, but things are going to open up and we'll get to really see, like, you know, feudal age units a bit more and all those types of transitions. Here we are, game number 4 in this quarterfinal, and when it all started, it was an extremely long one. Hera ended up losing that. People were possibly worried of what that would mean for him, and he wasn't. 2 convincing victories with aggression, though Villese had his chances. It's not like Hera has been dominant the whole way through. Both the games, I think you could argue, Villese had a... Well, no, it's no argument. He had a big eco lead, but he just hasn't been able to stop Hera's attacks here, nearly.
Just so much army. Monks, Janissaries. Like, Monks winning basically game 2 and 3 for him was absolutely massive. And I love that Hera is adding it into his arsenal now. Just makes him such a complete player.
Yep. Yeah, I think it, like, for a while there, people avoided the clowniness and they avoided the monks. And now people have adopted the monks. And like I said, I think it's a scary sign for people who, even within a league format, right, said, okay, well, I can go with the closed maps against the top 5. And that's how I'm going to get my wins. Like Draken did that against Yo and against like MBL and whatnot, and Leary. But in Hera's group, he didn't really lose much, right? He only lost that one game. It was on Ghost Lake against Ganji. And then here today, he's been full army, like you said. And look at this build, Nilly. He's has yet to go to wood. So no lumber camp for him yet. Pushing in all of his food. I expect a very fast uptime here from Hera.
Yeah, looks like it. Is this maybe a mill first build? Would be really weird. But yeah, heavily on food.
Well, as you know, I did play a tourney as only Portuguese.
Oh, okay. Tell me more about it.
And I did test the build, and if you're going to go early mill, you got to go earlier. You can't delay it.
Okay.
At least you could do it for arena, right? Like, I think arena it's a bit different, but for Arabia, if you wait this long, you go lumber camp, and then the wood you get from the berries later on is obviously quite helpful.
Yeah,
but
I see that.
I'm talking about my amazing builds. I actually ruined my build order when I played Hera on Arabia. So I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I only saw game 1.
Yeah, that's the only game that matters, honestly.
Yeah. Nice.
So Villese Hindustanis, a civ that has been so strong. He picked it first, right? So cheaper villagers, great scout rush, and amazing camels to compete for the map. Civ doesn't have to just play for camels or ghouls, as Villese is scouting very closely here. You could also go just camel skirm, right? So that's completely fine.
Well, I think most of the time Portuguese want to play also long feudal age, right? Scouts, archers, just really nice for them. Transition into crossbow knights. And then it's not that pretty to go for too many camels. Then skirms trying to snipe, but it just feels like the double gold composition will be more efficient. And that's where Portuguese shine so much.
Yep, I agree with you. The double gold comp that like Chinese does, for example, like that's a civ where you see crossbow camel or crossbow knight combined very frequently. I think Portuguese might be the second easiest civilization to achieve that. And still a lot of conversation about Portuguese, man. It was just like that one little change where they get wood from berries, and then suddenly everyone's been going for them. Viper always felt like they were sneaky underrated on standard land maps before. Now they're being seen by everybody, and especially on the closed maps too. And that's the thing, is when you're drafting civilizations for these types of events, you love to pick civilizations on your draft that can work for any of your maps. Really hard for your opponent to guess what you're going to go for.
Yeah. That's what we said with Portuguese earlier for ACCM's draft and now for Hera's draft. Obviously had even more options there. Actually for both. Like, I think both had like 4 or 5 maps where Portuguese would have worked.
Okay, so Hera scouts down to 33 HP because of the town center fire. Leza scouts down to 30 HP because he tried to attack a villager. And probably knew better in that moment, but might be feeling some pressure, having lost 2 straight games. Normally, the villagers are going to be getting loomed at that instance there, so... A little surprised he did that, but I assume this is going to be a scout rush, but ooh! Never mind. He's actually going to gold right now.
Oh yeah, Villese. While we see Scout Rush out of Hera, goes for Lumber Camp at the front with a low HP Vil. Kind of weird.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. That's one of those things, if I do it, a villager dies, and I look like an idiot. Hera's also going to gold, so both players going to play into gold. And I think Hera just now went to gold because he scouted the villagers on gold. I think this would have originally been a scout build, but he's going to just try and counter this early rush then. He knows there must be something coming forward right now.
Ooh, and it's massive. 3 men-at-arms going to be running forward, 4 villagers as well. That's going to be an aggressive tower. And as we said, 1 low HP villager. Fuel a scout pretty soon.
Yeah, and if you're expecting just man-at-arms, you probably are just going to try and wall in your villagers here. But Hera hasn't done that yet either. I'm a little confused. Let's see. He attacks the house. Hera didn't see the militia. He drops the range there. Oh my god, a tower there would be so sick. Don't you just tower right next to the range? Force Hera to delete the range?
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, just force it.
Wall in the wood line and the house, ideally. But no, he just passes by. Oh, what?
Like, if you tower that wood, Hera can counter tower you. And if he tries, that fails. And the only way he really stops it is if he deletes his archer range.
Maybe he wants to block the berries from the Portuguese player. I can see that argument as well. It just felt like this spot would have been so sexy.
Also, there was no walls from Hera. Hera just casually builds a blacksmith right next to this.
He doesn't see the tower.
Oh yeah, true. Hera doesn't see the tower. That's kind of funny. Well, now he knows about the tower, and the tower will go up, and it will hit the berries, and it will also hit the wood. So this is going to be a really nice spot for Villese to be aggressive. Hera desperately wanting that blacksmith to complete. He's going to complete it. He's going to run away. He somehow doesn't lose the villager here. He's so close. He does lose one. A great start here with the aggression for Villese.
And yeah, 2 archers obviously will be fine defending against the men-at-arms. Villese now has 2 archers himself. Hera being pushed back, and since he went onto deer and the boar so early, he still has lots of buffaloes left.
Ooh, Hera's villagers. I mean, he has to kill the archers from Villese right now. Villese in an awkward spot here. He wants to kill those vills, but he can't quite get to them yet. And he also doesn't have fletching. Hera getting fletching really early could help him in the archer engagements. Getting armor even. Interesting.
Blacksmith now out of Villese.
Okay, so Villese has to wait. Now, here's the thing. If Hera ever counterattacks, you have nothing at home. You are on stone, so you can make towers, but if Hera isn't ever under threat, he will always go forward here, and it's always extremely complicated. In today's meta, at least, Nilly, because people are so good at realizing when they can counterattack.
Yeah, and especially like Hera. He sees the amount of units here. Now has 5 archers. I'm a bit surprised by this positioning of his. Yeah, goes further to the wood line. And that's a tower that achieves nothing. Oh, no.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't feel free to move out right now. If it goes up, it's a nice little position on the gold for the long run, but it's not going to go up. Fletching's in for him. Hera still has had more archer production. A great job from Hera, honestly. And Villese has struggled to keep his archer range producing. His archer range has been producing 60% of the time. Hera's is 98% of the time production.
Ooh.
Thanks, Capture H.
I didn't... What is...
Click the range and then click the percentage above the HP.
Oh, and it said 60% of the time, but why did it go down to 20%? Is that efficiency maybe in the last minute or something?
I'm looking at all time, at least for Villese. It still says 60%.
Well, no. Oh, all time?
Yeah, all time.
What? I didn't even know that stat.
Yeah, man. I found out last month. It's really cool.
What?
You can do it with eco units as well. You could do it with everything. You just click a villager, and then you could see his whole existence. Wood, food, building, moving, idle, everything. It's sick.
What?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sick.
And here you thought that you were just going to be happy you casted with me today because we were going to have a good time.
No. I also learned something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you call infotainment.
Not bad. Not bad. Tower's going to go up here for Villese, and it still doesn't feel like it's really accomplished too much. But Hera hasn't counterattacked. The funny thing is, though, he's expecting Hera to counterattack. All of his army is running home. Look at all the red units running home. From our point of view, it looks pretty ridiculous. And I think he's just now realized, oh crap, Hera didn't actually come to my base.
Yeah, didn't really have the intel. Needs to wall in that tower, otherwise... Well, I don't think Hera's even motivated to rush that tower down.
It's not even within range of the other tower. This is going to be bad for Villese if he finally comes to Hera's base and then Hera actually does counterattack him. But again, I got to point out this stat because it's so important in these types of battles. 98% of the time production on this range. It has never stopped producing, really.
Yeah.
And it is why Hera has so many archers.
Oh boy.
And he's going to be able to put a stop to this right now.
Jumps on the archers, jumps on the villagers. GG! Hera takes 3-1.
Hera wins 3 straight games after losing a 2-hour Regicide Fortress game and will move on to the semifinals tomorrow. Wow. What a turnaround from him, man. And it's a bummer of a series for Villese because in every game he lost but this one, he probably could have won, right? Whether it be the Civ matchup, whether it be a position he gained himself. But Hera's aggression, and in this case, the defense was perfect. I think the biggest thing we've said about Hera for the past 2 years is just his consistency and what he brings from game to game, right? You can lose one game, and you can still bet on him to do what he needs to do in the next game. And it was a very long series, even though it only ended up being 3-1 as opposed to some of the 3-2s. But he deserves to be in the semifinals, and he'll be up against Leary. Should be crazy.
Those are crazy semis. Leary Hera, Viper Tato. Oh man, guarantees an AM versus GL final.
Seriously. Yeah, it will be awesome, especially if they've been talking strategies, because I think the players in the semifinals will kind of have an idea on how the other person's going to play. Again, though, I got to hand it to Hera here. I'm impressed with how he dealt with this game in particular. But my goodness, I could be wrong. We don't know how it's going to flow. But I think the initial tower from Villese could have been so deadly to Hera if he would have just towered the archer range.
Agreed.
Because Hera, any new archers from Hera could get hit by the tower. He wouldn't be able to counter tower at all. Those villagers would have had to run into man-at-arms because they would have to leave the location before Hera would have archers. That could have been 4 villagers killed there.
Yeah. potentially, like, not sure, maybe some make it home, but you can wall in the archer range. Hera -1 lumber camp, -1-2 villagers, lots of walking time. Would have been such a brilliant aggression. And Villese, those men-at-arms didn't really pay off.
So we have Viper Tato, we'll have Hera and Leary. Safe to say 4 best players in the world right now? Or do you think it's not that simple?
Well, it's, those are the ones I invited into NAC, right? And actually, it's pretty funny. Like, even the two of us had some discussions like, oh, maybe let's do a qualification spot for NAC, directly, like for TTL into NAC. And I said, like, oh, the timing is so short. What happens if no one goes through and we need to come up with like a 1-day qualifier of the others? And this is actually what would have happened, right? Like, I would have had a really complicated, like, 4-people bracket now trying to replace stuff.
Yeah. Also, and I don't want to take away from what anyone accomplished in the first season, because the first season was incredible. But, like, the players who are in these semifinals are absolutely ridiculous right now, right? What we saw from Viper yesterday was insane. Jordan, I'd never seen Jordan play so well against his series against Viper. It was unbelievable. And Viper had to work past that. Tato, he had to work past crazy Mr. Yo. Hera today, after losing the first game, showed some crazy tenacity and flexibility on maps. And then Leary against ACCM too. Like, we're not looking at players who are coming in at like 80 or 85%, which they might have been at some areas of the group stage. They're all peaking at the right time. So the best of sevens, the 2 best of sevens we'll have tomorrow, and then the best of 7 final should be all the entertainment. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, going to be great semis and a great final on Sunday. I wish you all the best luck. It was a beautiful day with you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for everything. I'm glad I was able to mention the production on the range there for you. It seems like it really made your day.
Nice.
Thanks for everything, man. We'll talk soon then, all right?
Yeah, we will. See ya.
See ya.